This is, yeah, it's everybody just except for Brandon. Yeah, that's what it usually is now. Until he gets done. Yeah, it's because a lot of the people that play two characters, like, all right, we're streaming.
Yeah.
If we're ready for recap.
All right.
Yeah. We're
All right.
Red October standing by.
So, the Seven Deadly Sins and a few others finally finished our fight in the Necropolis and defeated the Lich. We came back. Afterward, we captured and interrogated Artigan, the leader of the Necrolites and also Mithra's uncle. He informed us that the leader of the Hands of Fate was a person by the name of Relicanter. A Relicanter is a pseudo-god that is trying to become a full-fledged god and has the ability to instinctually know things that are about to happen ahead of time. He warned us if we didn't back off, he would come after those close to us. Artigan was then taken into custody by Dorian's guild, and after that, Genzo was apprehended by Dorian and his guild with the expectation he would stand trial in Sea Shroud for his crimes of working with the Collectorate, even though he did switch sides with us in the final battle. The next morning, Velia found Wilhelm murdered and dropped off at her tent. He had a cursed dagger sticking in his chest and appeared to have been dead for at least a week, even though Shiziki had just spoken with him the night before. Celia was able to resurrect Wilhelm, and we found out he had been attacked by a changeling by the name of Voltaire, who works for Relicanter. We also discovered while Voltaire had infiltrated the camp, he had murdered Artigan and the guards from Dorian's guild that were watching him. We traveled to Wilhelm's ship, the Gambit, to find it completely destitute of all items, gold, and blueprints Wilhelm had, including the new plans he had been working on for building a new scouting Arcanobot that could fly. Wilhelm's ship had several traps filled with explosives, and we managed to disarm all but one, which went off and severely damaged one of the engine rooms, making the Gambit unable to fly until it's repaired. With Valastrios' magic, we located some of the goods that were stolen and teleported to them, finding them also trapped with explosives, but thanks to Valastrios stopping time with a high-level spell, we were able to stop the bomb that was about to go off 1 second after we arrived. After some more searching for stolen items and tracking Voltaire, we did discover he'd been using weaponry that was a combination of mechanical technology and magic that was so advanced the only place known to create such items was the gnomish city of Geardale. We were able to gather the items from Dorian's chest and a wide array of explosives, but otherwise the search didn't bear much other fruit than that. We eventually made our way back to Galeberg. Shiziki spoke with Vark, who was undercover in the city of Gilstead, where he believed the main base of the operations of the Hands of Fate were located at, and found out that doppelgangers were working with them. Shaz warned Vark to get out since its cover had been compromised. The group then warned the Council of the Hands of Fate and the recruitment of the doppelgangers. Afterward, Shaz spoke with Vivi and delivered a letter that was forged to look like it came from Raynor, the Prince of Primalty that Shaz also copies his identity. The letter was requesting to hire the Dark Suns to make a move on King's Crest. Vivi agreed to the job, along with complying with Shizuki's request to send men to stand guard over Wilhelm's ship. During this exchange, Shizuki revealed to him that he was actually a changeling, and asked that any further changelings discovered by the Dark Suns be handled by him personally. He also suggested that Vivi release Genzo with the intention of using him to pretend to act as an enemy of the Seven Sins and the Dark Suns, while secretly helping us investigate the Hands of Fate. Vivi expressed interest in the plan and also happened to suggest a job for Shizuki whenever he returned to Angaria, with the details waiting for him on his arrival there. Almost done, guys. We got a bit more. Shaz had also spoken with Mithra and Azrael, and it became decided that the Necrolites would be dissolved due to Artican's ulterior motives and the attention already that they'd received from Thalassians, since they were only allowed to operate with the approval of the government, pending they only acted in the best interest of everyone's welfare. However, the members would be offered positions in the Dark Suns as possible recruits for the newly created Spelljammer Squad of the Dark Suns. Azrael and Shizuki would be responsible for them. Mithra agreed to become Wilhelm's new apprentice, and her daughter would soon move to Angaria, where Shizuki had purchased a new home with the assistance of the Dark Suns. Shaz also officially invited Valastrios to join the Seven Deadly Sins, which Valastrios was a dick and reluctantly said he'd just think it over. Shaz also revealed to the group that after speaking with the Raven Queen the night before, he found that he may have some celestial heritage, and he's now able to consistently grow wings whenever he goes into shadow form, which he had only done once before during the fight against the Avatar of Annihilation, who was also a celestial. The Raven Queen had anonymously hinted to him to look into the Gates of Apotheosis and the Angel of Death. Shizuki also informed everyone in the Seven Sins that the Dark Suns had been hired to head to King's Crest to begin salvaging the city since it would no longer be riddled with undead now that the Lich had been defeated with forces from Primality and Sea Shroud in tow to assist. One of the Towers of the Magi is also located in King's Crest. The group had decided on a possible plan of going to the Tower of the Gods to gather information and allow Ophelia to change out some of her spells, then possibly heading towards either Gearsdale or the remnants of King's Crest. Afterward, most of everyone parted ways to the respective sleeping quarters. Aaron decided to temporarily leave us to go visit his girlfriend, Clarissy Brightshot, and had some of the members of her party, Zimzalazam and Dash, come take him to their world. He made plans to meet back up with us in Geardale. Later, almost done, I promise, guys. Shizuki and Cilio went to the tavern to meet with a known poisoner of the Dark Suns named Olaf, and made plans to meet with him again in the morning. While at the tavern, they ran into Azrael and Mithra, who seemed to be deeply enjoying each other's company. Despite Zai's previous advancements on Mithra, the four of them enjoyed an evening's revelries including booze and sood, except for Cilio being pregnant and all. Azrael and Mithra eventually retired for the evening, leaving together, but not before Shizuki used his new true polymorph spell to create a T-Rex that he began to ride through the town while enjoying his stupor. And that's where we left off.
All right.
Blah. Again, I apologize for the long lecture, but now there you go.
So, Shizuki, you begin to stir. The only thing that you're able to feel at the moment is you feel like this like slimy tongue just drag across your entire face like a good couple of times. This tongue, however, is about the size of your entire head, and after these two licks, your entire face is just drenched in slobber. You stir, and the first thing you see and feel is a very warm breath across your face, and a T-Rex with his face about 6 inches from yours, as he then gives you another really sloppy lick across the face.
Jumbaloo!
The streets are completely deserted, and it occurs to you that both you and Celiel are buck-ass naked. Your tent is just destroyed. There's nothing left of your tent. It is in tattered, it is shredded cloth, and you are out in the middle of the camp with nothing but a sleeping bag. You look around and you see a few people, many of whom are Dark Suns, who are just kind of looking at you, and much to your dismay, one of the people that your eyes land on is Vivi. He looks over at you and says, I'm gonna need an explanation now as to why you incited mass panic by summoning a T-Rex. And where is your armor? You represent the Dark Suns, and yet you're here in the middle of this city in your skivvies. What the hell happened?
First thing I do is I give him a salute, which actually shows off, since this is the first time I'm like bare chested and whatnot, I actually show off my Dark Suns tattoo that I actually have on my chest. And I give Vivi a good salute. Well, sir, I was, in all honesty, following orders to the best degree that I could.
Uh-huh.
Well, you see, I had a thought. First, I remember you telling me to go out and celebrate. And to be honest, I had noticed there was some tension in the camp. And I thought, what better way to break that tension than to do something so obscure people wouldn't expect it. And to be honest, as soon as I started celebrating a bit last night, I started running with the idea. And I thought to myself, if we're facing off an individual that is able to predict our moves,
At
why
this
not
point
start
in
practicing some
mid-sentence,
chaos?
the T-Rex has started growling at Vivi.
Easy, Jumbaloo, easy, buddy. It's all good. It's all good, buddy. I'll give him a little pat on the side.
On his leg. He's like 30 feet tall.
Yeah, well, I'll pat whatever what I can pat at this point. And I'm finding ways to recruit the locals here.
With a T-Rex.
I mean, I think that's a pretty good recruitment if I do say so myself.
I just want you to take a look around. Do you see any civilians anywhere? That's because they're locked in their homes, because there is currently a T-Rex standing inside of their city.
Like, I'm not saying it was the best plan. I'm saying this is sometimes how you make progress, is you take risks, and we tried something new here.
I see. Your armor is scattered in pieces over by the tavern. I suggest you go collect it. We will overlook this one foresight,
At this
Mr.
point,
Belrook, but
I would like to cast Minor Illusion and, like, basically just censor myself, I guess, like depixelate the area.
by the way,
around.
you are very cold. You are buck-ass naked in, like, 0-degree weather.
Do I at least have my scarf on? I would have my scarf. Do I have my scarf on?
You have your scarf, but
Okay.
you've kind of worn it very, it's kind of serving as a loincloth at the moment.
What about Celio? Celio buck-ass naked too, you said?
Yes, she is.
Alright, I'll keep her modest. I'll cast Minor Illusion and, like, depixelate the area around her.
Like The Sims.
Yeah, exactly. just make, like, some weird, obscure, like, cloud thing that, like, stays in front of her. I don't know. Just something enough to kind of
Okay.
keep her a little modest. Me,
She
I'm
just
gonna go swinging in the
speaks out
breeze.
loud, and she just says, I personally don't see the problem.
Well,
That's all she says.
if I might have your leave, sir, I'll go ahead and collect my armor.
You're dismissed, Lieutenant, as he finally allows himself to let out a small chuckle. The smallest of chuckles.
Thank you, kindly, sir. I'll be on my way. By the way, what does the town look like from what I can see?
The town is okay. It doesn't look like anything's been destroyed. The town's okay. It's just desolate at the moment. Like,
Fair enough.
there's nobody in the streets.
Come on, Jumbaloo. Let's head on
And-
over.
Lieutenant, do something with the T-Rex. Have him wait outside the city or somewhere. It's frightening the commoners.
I don't suppose we have some food for this big guy available, do we?
I'm sure he may find an elk or two whenever he leaves.
Fair enough. I'll be on my way then. And I will start making my way to the tavern. Enjoying the
You do
breeze.
so. And Jumbaloo gives you another giant slimy lick across the face.
I'm going to cast Prestidigitation on myself and Celio to get the slime off of us.
Yeah, you do it. As you're walking over there, she just says, I personally don't see the problem. I think the naked form is a thing of beauty.
Oh, I couldn't agree more with you. As long as they look like you and me, but there's some fuggos around here that, we can't really set that principle.
Well, I understand that. I must admit that I don't personally find dwarves to be very attractive. I just saying your friend Dorian, I believe, should probably keep his clothes on.
Ah, Dorian's fine. He's just I don't know. He's a personalized brand.
I know, but they're so stubby. It's like you took a human and just compressed them down. They didn't lose any width, but they just lost height. It's a little disproportionate. That's all.
Yeah, great thing, small packages, all that jazz. He's more of the compact goodness.
Yes, I see. There's to say the least about your friend. By this point, you have approached, and you see her breastplate and her leggings are there, and she fastens them back to herself. Grabs her giant dildo that she's been using this whole time as a weapon.
What about the rest? Is it just my armor, or is it like my gear,
Your
my
bag
of
was
holding,
over there too.
Quiver? Okay, so
So
it's like
you're not. You had antithesis on you. Well, it doesn't really matter. It's in a fucking portal in another dimension, but Yeah, your bag was over there. You take it likely hasn't been sorted through since, the mass panic that you caused.
Yeah, okay. I'll go ahead and gather all my things and get dressed and so much and so forth. Get myself back in my, my usual dress.
All right. So, what is everybody else doing? The news has reached you that there was a T-Rex just running amok in the city overnight. You completely ignore it, okay?
Yeah, I'm not enthused by it.
I mean, what's a T-Rex after, facing down a giant lich dragon?
I mean, we did see some T-Rexes in there, some undead T-Rexes or something. I don't know.
Yeah, there were.
No one else deal with it. Third flame kill. Right now,
So, at this point, Velastrios, what are you doing?
That's a very good question. I don't know.
Have you stirred for the day?
Probably. Maybe.
So, you're actually approached by the Empress. Golden crown, jade green robes, light green skin, and a battalion of guards that are surrounding her. And she looks and says, "Mage, may I speak with you? It doesn't necessarily have to be you, but I do need to speak with somebody who was part of your excursion into the necropolis."
You may speak, yes.
I take it I am not going to like the answer to this. But what was the fate of Alfalazosh?
Hmm. Which one was he?
That's the dragon that we killed. The undead dragon.
Alfalazosh. Oh, the dragon.
Yes, sir.
Oh yes, the lich took over its body and we destroyed both of them.
I see. Alfalazosh has been the sworn protector of our kingdom for nearly a millennia now.
It didn't seem like he did too well at his job.
She did until now.
Oh, she. Yes, of course.
Tell me, Alfalazosh was with child at the time?
Well,
You wouldn't happen
at
to
the
have
time,
found...
it looked like she was with many children.
Yes.
Yes, we found their eggs.
Did any of them survive?
All the shells that we found were all broken.
All of them?
All of them. All the eggshells that we found, they were all broken. It looked like they were performing some type of experiment. To which I cannot remember off the top of my head what type of experiments that they were performing.
This is grave news. So Alfalazosh has no living heir?
Oh, of course she does.
She does?
Yes.
Where is this wormling?
It's It's in a different plane.
Is it accessible? Would you be able to find it?
Yes, it's my plane.
Well, that's marvelous news. Can you bring it here?
No,
Why not?
because I will not force it to go where it does not want to. Well, if it wanted to, I will. But it does not know you. Who's to say that it would want to meet with you? You can go to it and ask it for yourself, but I will not force it to do anything that it does not choose to.
Let us see this wormling.
I'll open the door, pull out my little chalk stick, and draw my door on the wall, and Just some random wall. Don't
Okay,
really care where I put the wall ever.
She beckons for her troop of guards to follow her in, and they do so.
No, I stop them. They are not allowed.
One of them speaks up and says, "We accompany my lady," and she
No.
interrupts him and says, "It's all right. It's all right. I shall go alone. Lead the way, mage."
I'll take her into the main hall, open the door, take her into the main hall, and shut the door behind her, and I'll escort her to the kitchen, where we last left the dragon with mountains of food and servants tending on it.
You walk in, and like a dog, it's just kind of chewing on a bone that looks like it came from like a turkey or something. And at
Hold-
first sight,
Hold on, let's pause. Sean, what did we name the dragon? Blue?
Did we ever? I don't think we ever really named it, but we did just call it Blue.
Oh,
We called
okay.
it Blue.
Okay,
even though it's
Yeah.
silver, but yeah, you guys called it blue.
okay. Well, as soon as I see him, I'll just shout, Blue!
It just looks over and kind of disinterested, goes back to gnawing on its bone. She says, "It's beautiful," and you notice has a tear that's kind of trickles down her face, and she walks over slowly. Blue just kind of gives her an eye, like it doesn't turn his head, but you can see his eye kind of turns in her direction, and its pace that it's kind of chewing on the bone kind of slows down.
I will
And-
put my hand on her shoulder and be like, hold on 1 second. And I will approach Blue before
Okay.
her. And I will sit down on the floor. Well, I'll sit down in the air, like as if I'm sitting in a chair.
Okay.
And I'll just be like, Blue, this is the Empress. She worked with your mother. She would like to speak to you.
My mother?
Yes.
She says he is already so intelligent for his age. Yes, dragons do advance rather quickly, but he can't be more than a few weeks old. Hi, Blue. I am Empress Shotogust. Your mother was a very great dragon, which we owe our entire kingdom to her protection. Hell, we owe the existence of our species, all thanks to her protection. Now, Blue, your mother comes from an ancient draconic bloodline, and which means that you are the last living dragon in existence who can trace their lineage directly back to Bahamut himself. He doesn't really seem to care as he keeps gnawing on his bone. You are powerful, Blue, and like your mother, I believe you have a destiny. A destiny to continue to guide our people just as your mother has always done. Would you like this, Blue? Blue looks up at you and just says, "Should I?"
I think you should, but when the time is right. You need to rest, my little friend, and I'll reach out and pat his head. You are still recovering from your traumatic experiences, and you are safe here for as long as you choose. I will help teach you of things.
Blue looks at you and just says, "I like you. I want to stay with you."
I'll pull Empress.
Yes.
He can stay here for a while until he grows larger, and then I can no longer house him. But I will train him and I will teach him, and I will pass down as much knowledge as I can, for I have something else to show you, which will partake in his learning. He will be taught many things, and I will walk the Empress to Shizuki's room.
Okay, she follows you.
And when we go in, there's a large book on the desk in his room, and I'll show her the book. Now, this book, it's a history book, so most people find it boring. But young Blue will read from this book, and he will learn what his mother did and all things she knew. This is the book of, what's his name?
Whose
What's that
name?
guy's name? The
Which
dude that
one?
we got the book from, the giant. I forgot his name.
Oh, Zevriok.
Yeah. I'm showing her Zevriok's history book.
Yeah. This book came from Zevriok.
Mm-hmm.
In his time, Zevriok was Alfalazosh's closest friend.
And Blue will learn of his mother through Zevriok.
Thank you, Mage. Please, take care of him.
Oh, I will. And I will escort her back to the door.
May I see Blue one more time?
Sure. And I will escort her back to Blue.
Blue, you have a great life ahead of you. You have a great destiny ahead of you. I believe, follow this mage's teachings, and you can become the most powerful, knowledgeable, and compassionate dragon that the material plane has ever seen. That is all I wanted to say to you, Blue. Please, I trust this mage. Listen to what he says. I will. And she just looks at you and just says, I'm ready to leave now.
I will escort her back to the door.
She looks at her guards and in a somber tone says, organize a vigil for Alfalazosh.
Is she outside the door?
And one of the guards looks at her and says, you don't mean to say. She's like, that's exactly what I mean to say. However, there is hope. Alfalazosh had an heir, and this mage, I trust this mage. He will teach this wormling to be powerful, to be knowledgeable, so that once again, our kingdom may have a leader, someone to represent those fateful days when our race neared extinction and we were plucked from destruction by an heir of Bahamut himself. Now organize the vigil. And with a kind of teary tone, like they're holding back tears, the
I
guards
shut the
just
door
say,
immediately.
yes, ma'am. She'd already walked out.
Yeah. As soon as I see people start tearing up and stuff, I just shut the door and go back in my building, in my room.
Okay.
I'm not gonna sit there and watch that.
All right.
So
So,
while I'm in the house, there's one thing I want to do. I want to get out a little bell and start heading back to the kitchen, and I want to ring the bell to summon my simulacrum
okay.
out of the back room.
Yes, other me. What can I do for you?
I'm not other me. You are other me.
No, you are other me.
Whatever. So you've met Blue.
Yes, I have met the dragon.
It's not the dragon, it's Blue. I think I named him. No.
I find the name Blue to be a rather foolish name for him. Why not simply call him Silver? After all, he is a silver dragon.
Yes, but as the hidden one said, it is ironic. I believe he said that. I can't remember. Maybe, I don't know. Anyways,
He says many things. I try not to pay attention.
I find it amusing. Anyways, have you shown him the book yet?
Yes, the dragon has already begun reading through the book.
Have you
He
already
currently
read the
has
whole
not
book?
made it. Not the whole book. It's a large book.
No, you, not the dragon.
Yes, I have read the book. Why must you even ask? Of course I have read the book. Would you have read the book? You are
I've
the
already
other
read the
me, of
book.
course, and so I have already read the book.
I read the book too.
I read it faster.
Whatever. Anyways, it must continue that the dragon must learn and grow at an expeditious rate.
Yes, of course. I will say I do find for his limited time on the material plane, I do find the dragon to be rather impressive. I believe some of that mumbo jumbo that she said about him having this glorious fate might actually have some truth to it.
I was suspecting the same thing. Well, you know what they say, other me. Great minds.
Think alike.
No, you're an idiot. They do not think
No,
alike.
you're an
They
idiot.
disagree. Great minds disagree. And anyways, you're completely getting it wrong. How is the transcribing coming of all the scrolls in the new book?
It is coming along. I've made it through some of the spells, but as some of them are rather powerful, it will take some more time to complete.
I will also debrief him on everything that we went through from the previous days, and I want to hear what he has to think about. Well, he's me, so everything I think.
I lost audio
He'll
for a
think.
second. The last thing I heard is you want to, and then
I
it
wanna-
cut out.
I want to talk to him about another perspective on who the Hands of Fate are,
Okay.
and if he's learned of anything in the past day being in the library.
So, I have learned that, indeed, it's interesting. There's not much information about this sort of thing. However, I have read some books about this gate of apotheosis that was mentioned. It is indeed, there is information that does suggest that this might play some part in sort of an artificial process in becoming a god. And if this Relicanta has indeed activated one, it is entirely certain that he has begun his process. However, you must go through the various ranks of divinity before becoming a full-blown god. I take it now he is likely a pseudo-god, then he will raise to the rank of demigod, after that lesser, and after that greater. However, it's a very slow process. He likely has several decades, at least, before he were to attain even the rank of demigod.
Yes.
My point is, his power is not growing alarmingly enough that we should worry about any delay. I believe careful planning and would far outweigh any degree of power that he may have gained during the process of that planning.
So, how many spells do you have left that you think you can cast before I must recreate you?
I still have a seventh, this arcane terminology. Many of my spells are still available. I would say probably at least 10.
I'll pull out of my pocket and hand him an eye patch, and I'll
And
pass
who's
him
to
over the
say?
staff.
And who's to say that you would need to recreate me? Perhaps I need to recreate you. After all, you are looking rather rusty.
I'll hand him over the eye patch and the staff. It is your turn to go into the material plane. I need my rest for the next day,
Of course.
and I wish to
You
spend
handed
some
him
time
your
with
eye
Blue.
patch?
No, I handed him a eye
A
patch,
eye patch. Okay, gotcha.
like the same as mine. He would have the same scars and everything,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Okay. Gotcha.
he wouldn't really be missing an eye, but he would
Yeah.
still have the same scars and features.
And I'll say
Right.
that whenever he leaves or whatever, that I mean, you control him, so
Yeah,
he's you.
yeah. You
Like,
can go
down to
on.
the
You can
T.
go into my character sheet and mark off my spell slots for whatever ones you think that he might have, or
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, because simulacrums don't regain spell slots even with a rest,
No,
do they?
they don't. I'm gonna spend some time with Blue, and I'm gonna go over some more research with him.
Okay.
And yeah, that's all. That's all I'm gonna be doing.
All right, and you are now controlling your simulacrum.
Maybe I'm not.
When I have a chance, it keeps lagging every time I try to go into your character sheet. But when I have a chance, I will mark off your spell slots.
Okay.
So, just knowing that long rest Velastrios has all of his.
Yeah.
So, all right, and I assume he even wears like identical appearing robes and everything too, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He's just not the same.
Yeah. So, okay, sounds good. Kelly, what you up to? Not a damn thing. Okay. Just didn't want to
Pretty much.
skip over you. So,
Hanging out with Wilhelm, who's recovering. Yeah.
you could have just crashed in the med tent where Wilhelm would be.
Yeah, I was like, I haven't gone anywhere since.
Okay.
Yeah, well, that's why if you want to do something now.
No, he's still resting.
Alright.
Okay.
And
So, well, I guess because I got one more RP thing for Shaz and then another for Dorian actually. So we'll tag out. Now we'll go to Shaz.
Okay.
So after you've collected yourself for the day, Vivi finds you, and as well as some other guards that are accompanying him. He says, "May I speak with you back in the Jade Palace? This isn't about that." Pointing at the T-Rex. This is something else.
Of course, so you don't have to ask me. And whatever you want.
So you accompany him back, and he looks at you and says, "So."
Just out of
I had a
curiosity, is the T-Rex still following me along to the Jade Palace then?
Yes, it is, and people are making a wide berth as it walks down the street.
So be it. I'm digging it.
So it tries to go into the Jade Palace after you, but it can't fit.
John Baloo, sit.
It does so. It just with a thud sends
That's a
back.
good boy. That's a good boy.
Gives
Who's
you
my
another
favorite
lick.
T-Rex? Phenomenal. I will make my way in, and as soon as I step away, press the digitation again.
All right, you're back in your armor and stuff, so you're good.
I will say this: as we're walking into the Jade Palace, I'm gonna go ahead and just cast Arcane Eye, and I'm gonna have it just floating above my head.
Okay. So, he kind of, as you walk into his chamber, he kind of holds up a hand, telling the various Dark Sons that are accompanying him to stay behind, and he looks at you and says, "Lieutenant Belrook, I had an idea for possibly a change of plans regarding Ginzo.
All right.
I think we should hold out on the Fourglade brothers as a last resort. I think Genzo would be able to use his time much more efficiently, much more effectively, if he did not have to constantly keep an eye over his shoulder. If he were to be requited of his charges, he would be a far more valuable asset, I believe. And then if he's not, if he is found guilty, then I get in touch with Rill, or you get in touch with Rill, and then we have him set free. But I don't think that would be productive to do at the moment.
Understand, and whatever you decide is best, I'm more than happy to go along with that plan, but one of the ideas behind this was it had the presentation that Genzo was no longer working with us, which was hopefully going to give him a bit more of a freedom in that sense.
We could still have that presentation. After all, he is supposed to be serving me. If he were to go through his trial and then not live up to his end of the bargain and flee from his contract with the Dark Suns, it would still be presented the exact same way, but yet he would not be a wanted man by the general public, just by us.
And there's wisdom in what you're saying. If you feel that's what's best, sir, then we'll go with your plan. I'm not one to question you, but I would just prefer to get him on the road as soon as possible.
I believe the benefits of him not being a wanted man and not having to constantly sleep with one eye open will make him a far more valuable asset to us than if he's having to flee constantly throughout the entirety of his service.
Well, to be honest, have we talked to Genzo about this and gotten his take on the whole matter?
I have not. If you would like to present this idea to him, then, well, I believe he fancies you a bit more than he does me right now.
Well, to be honest, I don't want to present an option to him if it's not actually available. I mean, if Genzo wants to follow through with my plan, do we want to go in that direction? Or if we're head-on strong going with yours, then there's no point even bringing it up to him.
I believe that you can be persuasive enough to bring him over to my line of thought.
Well, let me ask you this. If I bring him over to your line of thought, like you said, are we still going to hold him to the contract for 4 years? Or would we be able to make that a much smaller contract?
I've already given that some thought. If he follows this plan, if he waits until his trial is completed, if he is requited, and only if, I will release him from his bonds of the contract after the hands of fate and, well, the crisis that has stricken this land has subsided.
I think you can get behind that. Have you given him the items that I left with you yet?
Remind me what those were.
Oh, jeez. Let's see. It was the thing that makes it where you can't have any divinity spells track you down.
Oh, yes. The amulet against proof and detection, as well as the ring.
Yeah, the Ring of Mind Shielding.
Yes. I thought you were talking about something else, and I was like, what is... Yeah. But, yes, I have done so.
Then, yeah, I think it'd probably be best if, at least, if not me, somebody, but I guess it should be me, go and speak with him just to at least explain things a little bit better to him and get him on the same page as us.
I'm glad we are in agreement. And represent him well, Shiziki. He really would be a far more valuable asset if he was not a wanted man.
While I have you here, there is one other request I would like to make. I've already spoken with Mithra and got her on board with us pretty well. The one thing that I did come to an agreement with her is I'm going to put her daughter up in the house that we're getting finalized in Angaria. If there's any way that we could get a good escort for her and her uncle to get down to Angaria to that home, I would greatly appreciate it.
It's her brother.
Right, well, it's Mithra's brother, but it's her daughter's uncle.
Oh, right. Yeah. We can offer her escort. However, you may want to avoid Mithra for now. Just last I heard, she's in a very tear-stricken state. She was looking for you.
Did she find out about her uncle?
One would assume so.
Yeah, it was to be expected. It had to happen eventually. Just out of curiosity, what's the official story for Artigan that's going to be made public?
The story for Artigan is that he was afflicted by a curse from the necropolis as a result of an encounter with one of those large behemoths. We tried our hardest to save his life, but we did not have the magical prowess to save him. By the time the nature of his affliction was discovered, he was already too far gone.
Alright, I think that seems reasonable enough, believable enough. So, and what of all his belongings and things? He was a powerful wizard. I'm sure he had some fun items that he left behind. Have we gone through and investigated all of his belongings, see if there was any more clues or anything left for tracking down the Hands of Fate?
We've been through his belongings. Nothing specifically pertaining to the Hands of Fate, other than this. And he holds up in front of you the medallion, slightly blood-stained, that had the skeletal hand gripping an hourglass hanging off the end of it. But it seems as though he, I would imagine rather unintentionally, packed pretty light when it came to paraphernalia pertaining to his organization.
That makes sense. Anything else in his belongings that might be of worth or help for us in the future days to come?
Several occult objects. We, strangely, found some preserved body parts, it seemed. Eyes. I'm not knowledgeable when it comes to necromancy, but I would imagine it would be pertaining to that art.
Yeah, he was a creepy guy. Maybe he was making a sex doll.
He shudders a little bit. I certainly hope not. But it is up to you whether you wish to speak to Mithra or not, but she is looking for you.
Well, that's a conversation I'm going to have at one point or another, so might as well go ahead and get to it. Just out of curiosity, when would be the best time to try and approach Genzo? I know he's under guard right now, and that seems like that would be a private conversation I need to have. So I'd rather not have any other ears listening in.
I think perhaps it can be arranged that his god is temporarily swapped from Order of Shield and Light to Dark Suns. At least if there's going to be listening ears, it's listening ears that we can trust.
Fair enough. I think Azrael wouldn't be too bad to have if we could have him pop in for a moment.
They've not yet made each other's acquaintance, but I don't see any harm about him accompanying you.
Well, Azrael is one of the few that knows the full story already, so it's no new information leaked to anybody else that we don't already know is in the loop. So I think he might be a good choice.
I'll trust your judgment.
Alright, and when might I happen to make my way towards his chambers or his cell, wherever it is we're keeping him?
I think I can work this out within the next 2 or 3 hours.
Alright.
In the meantime, if you're going to have a conversation with Mithra, I suppose now would be the time.
Any idea on where she might be?
No, but I have a feeling that when you leave here, it will not take her very long to find you.
Fair enough. Well then, if there's anything else there, I'll be on my way.
Dismissed.
I'll give him a salute and head on out.
All right. So, Dorian, you are. Tony, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So your tent is approached, and you hear a voice outside the tent, and all it says is, "I heard the ugliest dwarf in all the kingdoms is staying in this tent. Would this be correct information?"
No.
You
Get
recognize this
out.
as your friend Karzar.
I know who it is. No one's home.
It's true in more ways than one. Come outside, Dorian.
I throw a hammer through the tent door.
Make an attack roll
Oh,
with disadvantage.
I don't even have Dorian up.
Just
I
roll a
can't have
d20
him.
with disadvantage.
Oh, okay. All right, there we go. Just in that one.
Wow, 1 and 2. Good God.
Yeah, that he just says, "Nice try, trying to make me as ugly as you." All right, I'm coming in. He walks in, and you see that kind of he's holding onto like his forearm. This appearing half-elven boy, which you recognize as Thelvorn. Yellow eyes, long whitish blonde hair. It's blonde, but like a very, very pale blonde. Pale skin, and you notice at this point he has sort of a muzzle on, almost like it's like a metal bracer that's around the mouth portion of his head. He was like, "You remember Thelvorn, don't you?"
What's that thing on his face?
Keeps trying to bite me.
That's ominous. Ominous? That word? I take it off his face. Why are
Yeah.
you-
First thing he does is lunge for you.
I slap the shit out of him.
He just lets out like a shout as he tumbles backwards and lands in the snow. And he looks up at you and just says, "I'm so thirsty."
I'm sorry, what's that?
He said he's so thirsty. "So this is the boy. Discovered a few things. Yes, his craving for blood is very much there. However, he has long gone past the point of when a vampire would starve to death. I do not believe he actually requires blood to survive."
I get him some mead.
You're giving a child mead.
Yeah, why not?
He guzzles it down. Says, "I'm still so thirsty." So, few things I've discovered about the boy. Obviously, as you can see, he does not burst into flames in sunlight. However, I do believe can get a rather, well, vicious suntan, to say the least. As you notice, he has a bit of like a sunburned kind of complexion. "I'll get right to the point, Dorian. I believe that you would be the perfect candidate to train this boy. Convert him over to our side. Think somebody who shares a link between life and death, one who is not undead but shares a heritage of it, serving Kelemvor. Think of the implications of that. Think of how powerful he could be. Think of the good that he could do. And I can think of none other more suitable than you."
Well, first we have to figure out what he's thirsty for. I hand him a cup of mead.
He takes a sip, and I believe you know what he's thirsty for, Dorian. The point is we need to break
I
him.
mean,
We need to
if-
give him the willpower to resist.
yes, I understand that, but he said he's thirsty, and every time I get thirsty, I drink mead.
It's not what he's thirsty for,
Well,
Dorian.
that's what I'm always thirsty for. I mean,
That's what I'm always thirsty for. We're dwarves. But that is not
yeah.
relevant.
Hmm. Who else have you spoken about this? Have you? You haven't seen the Grand Prior, have you?
Not the Grand Prior, but the Grand Knight I have spoken to.
Yes, but he wouldn't know matters of this. He's a man of war. Like me. It's the difference between you and I. I participate in war, just as the Grand Knight. You know things. Not of war.
I drink and I know things. That was me saying that, not him.
Look. There's a mage here in town. He might know some things. Take the boy to the mage. His name is Valastrios. I'll be here when you take the boy to him, and then come find me.
I will do it, but I am knowledgeable as well, and I've found no records of any prior human-vampire hybrid existing before. This boy's mere existence is a miracle.
Well, then leave the boy here with me, and you go speak to the mage. See what he believes.
Watch the boy. He's a toothy one.
Have you tried giving him animal blood?
See, no. I am prohibiting him from any sort of blood source. I think he needs to break his craving.
I'll break his craving. Now, is he still holding a cup of mead?
He is.
Is it still full?
No, it's empty.
I pour him another glass.
He's a child.
Yes, but he's also part vampire. Isn't that what you said earlier?
Yes.
Well, that means he's kind of part dwarf.
How?
Look, just go talk to someone else. Quit bothering me with your stupid questions and retorts.
I'll go talk to the mage. You know, I hope he does bite you. If you want him to have blood, then just hold your hand out in front of his face.
No, I'm not gonna do that. Is it contagious?
No,
Oh, well, how do you know? Were you bit?
because I know how vampires work. You must consume vampire blood yourself to become a vampire.
Yeah, but how do you know it's not contagious? Have you ever been bit? Known somebody who was bit?
No, shut up.
well, then
Shut
you-
up.
Well, then you don't know.
I know what I've read. I know what I've heard.
Yeah, reading. That gets you so far.
You know, you might want to pick up a book occasionally, Dorian. It could do you
Yeah.
some good.
I do. And I've killed someone with a book.
We're done here. We're done.
No,
I'll-
you're done.
No,
I'm
you're
just
done.
getting started. And I drink from my flask of mead. You're done.
He inexplicably pulls out a mug of ale out of nowhere. He reaches inside his robes and pulls out a full mug of ale and just starts guzzling it down. Then just throws the mug down to the ground and storms off.
Yeah, I'll show him. See, I turned to the kid. See, he was the one that was done. He's the one that left. I wasn't gonna leave. I was gonna stand my ground. That's what dwarves do. And then I pushed the kid a little bit. That's what dwarves do. Makes you hardy. And I fill his cup up with more mead.
He
How old
looks
is
back
this
at
kid
you.
again?
He is 6.
6? I thought he was older than that. He'll learn
No.
quick.
He looks at you and just says, "You're the one who killed my father. I'm gonna grow more powerful than you one day, and then I'll find you.
Oh yeah? Then what are you gonna do?
Then I'll kill you myself. I swear it."
I pull out one of my hand axes and I throw it at his feet.
What? What do you want me to do with this?
Pick it up, boy.
He picks it up.
Oh, swing at me.
Immediately, he charges at you with the axe.
I kick him. I just Sparta kick him.
Let me make an attack roll for him real quick. If it'll do the roll. Yeah, that's like an 8.
Nah.
So
I'm not gonna kick him. I'm just gonna step out of the way.
yeah, he swings at you with the axe and just I mean, he's not refined in combat, just a wild swing in a way where after you step out of the way, he continues pacing a good 3-4 steps after you and turns back around and takes another swing at you. That is a 9.
What's that, like a -5?
It's with a -1.
Yeah. Well, boy, if you want to get better, I guess we better start training now, because at this rate, you'll never hit me. And
Suddenly, this like shining light starts being emitted from your bag of holding.
Okay. I will reach my hand inside and concentrate on the light and pull out whatever it is.
You pull out the katana that older Thelvorn gave to you.
I toss it on the ground in front of him, and I'll pull out my defender.
He looks at you and says, "What's this?"
That's a sword, boy. Pick it up. Drop the axe. You're no good with that thing anyways.
It's not like a sword I've seen. Where did you get it?
Boy. And I'll approach him. You pick up the sword now, or I will cut you down where you stand.
Okay. Okay. He picks up the sword kind of awkwardly. One thing you notice he's already doing wrong is that he's holding the sword with one hand.
I use the defender to knock this katana out of his hands. 2 hands,
Yeah.
boy. Pick it back up.
Oh, okay. You can sense a bit of fear in his voice. He goes back over to the sword and puts a second hand firmly placed across the hilt of the sword.
Well, and I'll just start teaching him how to fight.
So he swings against you blow after blow, and it's not difficult. You find yourself able to block each blow, but one thing that you notice is for a child, the amount of force he's putting into his strikes, he's hitting you like an adult. Which is odd for a 6-year-old to be able to do. But the one thing that you've immediately noticed is that his physical strength is far superior to what any 6-year-old's physical strength should be. It's clear, it becomes clear to you that he has indeed inherited the strength of his vampiric lineage.
I will also start to ask him questions to kind of like start manipulating and molding his mind on the balance of good and evil. Like, what does he consider good? What does he consider evil? And who is he to make those judgments? And ask
My
him,
father always taught me that might makes right, that the strong are destined to rule over and consume the weak. That's what my father has always told me.
so who plows the crops that feed the soldiers? If the soldiers are the strongest.
What are you saying?
Everyone has a job to do. Some people, their job is to be stronger than others so they can protect those around them. Everybody needs a helping hand. At some point in time, you can't just go around bossing your way through.
And what of my thirst? Am I never to feed again?
Well, I never said that. You must control it, though. Don't let it define you. Because right now, all you think about is your thirst, correct?
It's all I can think about. It's driving me mad.
Is that how you want to live the rest of your life? In fear of your own thirst? Something you can't control? Powerless?
I want to be strong.
Well, I'll make you a promise. You train with me as much as you want. And one day, we will fight when you're ready, when you think you're ready, and we will see who the victor is between you and I, a battle to the death. You will know when that day comes.
I will win. I promise.
I'm sure you might try your damnedest.
My lineage gives me strength. You are a
No.
mortal and I am not.
No, your lineage gives you hubris, which will be your greatest weakness.
Tell me of this god that you follow, Kelemvor. Why do you follow this god? Why this one? Out of all of the entire pantheon, why follow a god that embodies death?
Before I answer that question, before you made a comment saying that I was but a mere mortal, right?
Yes,
And what are you?
I am a vampire.
Right, yes, but you're still mortal. You can still be killed, just as easy as I can. Maybe.
But I will
Not
live
really.
forever.
No. Not necessarily. What? Tell me again, child. What happened to your father?
Did you hear what I said? I lost audio there
No.
for a second. He said you killed him.
He didn't live forever.
Thanks to you. He would have. My father was strong.
No, your father was hubris. He was weak, weak-minded, weak physically. He was a fool. He let his own arrogance and pride get the better of him. And then someone came along just a little bit stronger than he was. And that person had friends who were also stronger than he was. Strength is not just what you bring to the table, it's what everyone else around you brings to the table. It's how you build yourself and the ones around you. You build up each other. You all make each other stronger. And by yourself, you can't even hit me. Now, what if there was 10 of you? How do you think you would fare then?
I lost audio there for a second. If there was 10 of us, we would eat you alive.
No, you wouldn't. Because y'all would all be so consumed by your own hunger you would go after each other, as y'all know that you wouldn't be able to attack me, but you would see the others as weaker prey than I. You will learn. And I guess I'll just keep sparring with him until, what's his name gets back?
Okay.
Karzar.
Yeah. Alright. So, where is Valastrios?
Wandering around the town.
Okay. So, Valastrios, you are approached by a dwarven cleric, which you clearly recognize as one of the light bearers of the Order of Shield and Light. Though this one, you can tell, has a bit of status. His robes, his black, gold, and white robes are a little more ornate than the typical light bearer. And he approaches you and says, "I, mage, I require a word with you."
What do you want, dwarf?
A compatriot of yours. I believe you would know him as Dorian. He told me to come meet you.
And?
Look, I've brought with me to this city. In fact, he is with Dorian now. Have you ever heard of a half vampire? He seemed to believe you might be able to offer some knowledge on
Yes, half
What?
half vampire, half what? What is the other half?
Well, he is a half-elf. His vampiric lineage comes from an elf, and his human lineage comes from, well, a human.
This sounds interesting. I am intrigued. You have my attention, dwarf.
His name is Thelvorn.
I don't care what his name is.
The boy is 6 years old. All I have observed is that he...
Oh, 6. That
Yes,
means that we have a long time of research ahead of us. Excellent. What more do you know?
that it seems as though starvation from blood is not fatal. The boy still craves it. I'm not sure if he suffers any repercussions from not having it or not. All I know is that it will not kill him. Also, the boy is not killed by sunlight. He does seem to be sensitive to it. He has problems with bright lights. He gets a rather nasty sunburn. But that also does not appear to be fatal to him either.
And how does his exhaustion take?
He appears to have the fortitude of his vampiric heritage. The boy does not tire.
When does he sleep?
I have not yet seen him sleep.
What does he eat?
I cannot get the boy to eat anything, honestly. His thirst for blood at the moment is consuming all of his drive. But I do believe that he could consume normal food, were he to choose to do so.
Have you tried livers?
My audio keeps cutting out. Say that again.
Have you tried livers?
Livers.
Yeah, like chicken livers, pig livers.
I have not.
Oh. And tell me, what about the physical attributes of this child?
Well, as a child, he already appears to have the strength and dexterity of a fully grown adult.
Now,
Not of an adult vampire, but of an adult human, which is still rather remarkable.
walk with me for a minute. I'm trying to find someone. Do you know of one called Shaziki?
Aye, he's a friend of Dorian's. I've met him once.
Yes, I'm currently looking for him.
I will walk with you, human.
Where is Shaz?
Currently at the Jade Palace with a giant ass T-Rex, so it shouldn't be hard to find me.
Do you see
Yeah,
that
in
over
fact-
there, mate Dwarf? There's a giant T-Rex in the middle of the town.
Aye. Not the strangest thing I've seen lately, though.
It is for me. Undead is a common thing. It's occurred hundreds of times throughout the years of history. I've seen dragons and all types of other things, but a T-Rex? That's just awkward. We must go over there to
Indeed.
investigate, Dwarf.
They're not even native here. How one got here, I have no idea.
I have been to 72 different planes, and not once have I ever seen a T-Rex outside of a book.
Well, they can be found in the jungles east of Gilstead, but they're very rare.
Who goes to the jungle east of you? Whatever you just said. Nobody just adventures into a jungle. That's
It's called the Flamethorn Jungle, by the way.
Yeah, that sounds even dumber. Anyways, this child, how long have you been in possession of this testing creature? With subject.
Only a couple of weeks.
And how many tests have you administered? What have you found out, other than what you've already told me?
Just that. Also, I do not believe that there's no contamination to the boy's blood. There's nothing cursed. I've sensed no curse, meaning that I do not believe the boy is capable of turning others into vampires.
So, DM,
What's
can
up?
I think of any way to synthesize some form of blood? I am proficient in alchemy,
Yes.
since our regent is away at this moment.
Synthesize what kind of blood? Like real blood.
You kind of like make it synthetic, like something synthetic to regular blood.
You would think that if you had some sample of blood, that you might, through some alchemical ritual, be able to turn a small amount of blood into a larger amount of blood.
No, I don't want to just give him blood.
Roll an alchemy check.
So you basically want to make vegan blood?
Yeah, basically, yeah. That's a 14 plus, I think, proficiency.
Intelligence
6.
and proficiency.
Oh, intelligence? That's
Yeah. I think it's 20,
That's
26. No, because you also have the Ioun Stone of Mastery. So
Oh yeah, 20. Yeah, what you said.
26. So you would imagine that it would take definitely some sort of tissue or some sort of actual like genetic material. But if you were to perform enough of you imagine you could get a starting point using some kind of genetic material as well as some purified water, perhaps, and just go from there. You would obviously need like some elemental salts to perform some sort of transmutation.
In the middle of approaching the T-Rex, I just shout, "Ah, dragon's blood!"
Dragon?
Huh? What'd you say,
What?
dwarf?
Nothing about a dragon.
What are you talking about dragons for?
What are you talking about dragons for?
I only said something about a dragon because you did.
I didn't say anything about a dragon.
You know, your race has
We
been
might
so
not want to say
insufferable
dragon
for the
too
past
loudly in the
1,000
streets.
years. Why not?
Mass panic? After all, there's a T-Rex over there. From what I hear, there was a bit of a mass panic last night.
You know, I bet you.
I'm just saying, a good way to freak out a city is to start yelling dragon.
Oh, then this is gonna be perfect. I cast Major Illusion. Fuck me. I cast Major Illusion and make a dragon fly across the sky.
Okay, what color is this dragon?
Purple.
Fucking purple?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. So,
And then that's it. It just disappears. Like it flies over for about a good 10 seconds, makes one roar, and then disappears.
okay, you hear one person just yell, "Dragon!" And everybody again starts just dispersing in a mass panic, running into their houses. People start storming towards the Jade Palace. But you see this too, Shiziki, as it's one of the, well, not one of them, but it is a large stone building, probably the safest place to be during a dragon attack, as people start flooding into the Jade Palace, as now everybody thinks the city's about to be under attack by a dragon. The guard begins to mobilize, ballistas start pointing up at the air.
Do I see Shiziki?
You do,
I
and he
approach
sees
Shiziki.
you.
I approach him, just chuckling to myself.
As people are bumping into you, as everybody in a mass
Oh, no.
panic is storming by.
I just want to know, you're saying people are running into the Jade Palace where there's a T-Rex standing at the door? So they're more afraid of the dragon that they're running at the T-Rex? Just for clarification.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It is the
Okay.
safest building.
Hey, Blasios.
You know, if another fucking person bumps into me, I'm going to set them all on fire.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Another
Wow.
person bumps into you.
I immediately cast, what's that fucking, flame? The thing that, where you catch on fire yourself? What's that fucking...
Fire shield?
No, Investitude of Flame.
Oh, investiture. Yeah.
Yeah, investiture of flame. I immediately cast that, and I just catch on fire.
So one person does bump into you after that, and his entire torso gets lit on fire as he just starts screaming even louder. He drops to the ground. This one poor female air ganassi just starts rolling around on the fucking ground, and other people, they pause from their screaming for a second as they were about to run into you, and then start screaming again and start running off in the other direction.
So, not worrying about the person on fire. So, Shiziki, look. This dwarf has some real interesting things to talk about. I want you to hear what he has to say. He talks about a child. Dwarf, where is this child if he's not with you?
He is in Dorian's tent.
Oh. Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
I'm
Anyways.
sorry, there's a child?
Yes. A child that's half vampire, half elf.
Oh. That wouldn't happen to be
Yes.
Felvorn, is it?
No.
Yes,
we're
that
calling
is the
this.
boy.
We're calling this the half vampire, half elf. Test subject 17.
Right.
His name's Thelvorn, yes.
Yeah, we
Yes,
know Felvorn.
This is subject 17. So, I would like to find. I don't know where Dorian's tent is. So, but I would love to meet this test subject. I mean, Belvor.
Okay. Just out of my own sheer curiosity, what's got you so interested in Thelvorn? You don't really express too much interest in a lot of things.
Subject 17 is unique. I've never really run across personally with a half vampire. So if I have time to examine one, I would be most intrigued.
Yeah, Thelvorn's a interesting one. He's kind of a time-traveling vampire, actually.
I thought you said he was a child dwarf.
He is a child. I know not of what
When I
Drow
asked
speaks
you
of.
earlier, what other things you've learned, you mentioned not of time travel.
This is news to me. How do you know of... I'm confused. Time travel?
Dwarf,
Lastros,
I know-
I'll take you over to Dorian if we want to have a chat.
Dwarf, I know that your stature is small, but is your brain as small as your stature? Let us go, Shiziki.
I am one of the most well-learned people in my order. How am I supposed to know that the boy can time travel?
Well, hopefully he didn't time travel to a spot after you were old and gray and doesn't murder you when you asleep.
No, I hope he murders you while you're asleep.
I don't sleep. Joke's on you, dwarf.
I hope that you have a rough night and decide to sleep. Your mother likes to sleep. As
yeah,
he
we're just
storms
walking off as this is going on. We're done here. And the person that's screaming on the ground.
Yeah, she's extinguished herself. Singed clothes, singed hair. Gets up, starts screaming again, and runs off.
I'm not dropping the spell. I'm still on fire for the next 10 minutes.
Okay.
Let another motherfucking person touch me.
Well, if you want to just get that out of the way, we can make that happen. Hey, Jumbaloo, speak.
He roars.
I just want to just get a good solid roar just to clear out the road.
Oh yeah, he lets out, this is full-on Jurassic Park, lowers his head to the ground, thunderous roar, saliva everywhere, and people immediately clear the street and start running off in the other direction, as they are now
good
under
job,
assault
Baloo.
by a dragon and a T-Rex.
Shiziki.
Yeah.
Where did you get a T-Rex? You know what? Don't answer that question.
How did you get to be on fire?
I'm not on fire.
Okay.
As there is a steady crackling of flames coming from his body.
I will take out a little bit of cotton candy that I'm sure I have somewhere, and I will put it on a stick and try to roast it like a marshmallow over him.
Oh yeah, cotton candy immediately shrivels up.
Fantastic. I'm gonna go ahead and start nomming on some cooked cotton candy as we make our way down to Dorian's tent.
So burnt sugar.
Shiziki, where's the what was her name? Philia.
Side note, in reality, Kelly went to bed. Kelly, I don't know if you could tell, was feeling super duper sick. So she had a bad
Okay.
head cold. So she was trying to stay awake for like the first half hour of this while she was on like NyQuil and everything. She just decided she couldn't do it and passed out.
She didn't want a robo trip?
It's all right. I understand.
But she did tell me some stuff that she wants to do for the session, so I'll just kick that
Yeah.
in there. It's not a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
We can get to that whenever, so.
Yeah,
All
go
right.
ahead.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
Oh, what's up?
I'm sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
So she's basically just gonna hang out with Wilhelm, and at a certain point when we have a conversation, I know what her answer is, so I can just say that was on the amulet. But she is going to use Wish for the first time,
Okay.
and she's gonna use it to cast Greater Restoration on Wilhelm.
Hold on. You know there's a 33% chance you'll never be able to use that spell again, right?
Not if you use it to replicate another spell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, when she does it, nothing happens. There's no shortcut for getting rid of resurrection sickness. You just have to sleep it off.
Actually, yeah, it does. It takes
Does it get rid of resurrection sickness?
any reduction to one of the abilities, one of the target's ability scores. You imbue a creature you touch with a positive energy, undoing a debilitating effect.
Oh, okay then. So yeah, he's cured of his resurrection sickness. I thought there was no way to get rid of that.
So, but that's what she's gonna do, and then there's something else that'll happen later on, but that's a Shiziki thing. I just know what she has to vote on.
Okay.
So, all right. Anyway, but we can continue on with what we're doing.
Yeah, so you round the corner, and when you walk into the tent, as you're approaching, all you hear is like clanging metal.
Hang out before we get there. Like, so we're continuing on. Is the dwarf cleric dude still following us?
He is.
Velasquez?
And actually, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No. Velasquez, is he a friend of yours? Do we need him? I can take you to Dorian's tent just fine.
I will go see Dorian. My name is Kaza.
He is dwarf, and I do not know who he is.
My name is Kaza,
he
light
approached
bearer of the Order
me-
of Shield and Light, servant of Kelemvor.
No, shut up. Back in the peanut gallery, you dwarf.
Hey,
He
Karzar,
approached me a little bit ago.
would you just go ahead and let Dorian know we're coming? We'll be right behind you.
I can do this for you.
Much obliged. And as soon as he steps away, so Velasquez, just was curious if you put any more thought to my offer from yesterday.
Ah, yes, your offer.
So have you come to a decision yet?
Sure, I have. I assure you, I have come to a decision about your offer.
And that would be...
Remind me the exact details of this offer, please. I've had a long night.
There's nothing crazy about it, whether or not you want to join us in official capacity or not.
Oh. But I am joined with you. Currently, right now, we are currently joined as we are walking to go see Subject 17. I mean, Thelvor and Dorian.
Vorn,
Yeah, that's what I just said.
do you not remember what we talked about yesterday?
Nope.
But you have that mind thing, where you didn't
Yes,
really
I
seem to
do.
forget things.
But it's subjective.
Oh, you do have keen mind. So yeah, if you would like me to tell you what the offer was, I can.
Tony knows what the offer is. It's a subjective thing. Sometimes have you don't know. Of course, Shiziki, I will join you.
Oh, great! It's good. No, we have a full roster now for the Seven Sons. Then
Oh, fantastic. But isn't there only like 5 of us, or 3?
Hmm.
How do
It's
you
one
have
of those
7
things
of
that's,
us?
again, subjective.
7?
We have a few that come and a few that go, but still. That makes you the new
Right.
Wrath.
Wrath. Who was the
Congratulations.
previous Wrath?
There was no Wrath
So
before.
then how am I the new Wrath?
Are you
If there was
new
no
to
old
this?
Wrath.
Then
New
you are
to
a
what?
new Wrath.
I grew tired of this conversation, Suzuki.
Right, so on another topic, Thelvorn, who you like to call Experiment whatever.
No, subject 17.
Sure. Thought you might want to know a few things about him before we go into the tent.
Of course.
So, we actually met Thelvorn as an adult, not that long ago. I don't really know the... What's that? Oh man, all audio is like cutting in and out from me right now. Are you boys there?
That's weird.
No, there we go.
Were y'all having problems too?
I was only having problems until you left and came back. I hear you just fine. But Gavin dropped.
Wow. Yeah, like the music stopped. It's real eerie.
Anyhow, we can continue until Gavin gets back.
Yeah.
So, I don't know the particulars of it because I don't really deal with planar travel, but apparently where we went to, the time dilation is a bit skewed. Time goes faster in another plane that we visited for a whole tournament thing, but I don't need to get into all that. But at the tournament, we met Thelvorn as an adult, which I'm not sure how he exactly exists in 2 different planes, but he warned us a lot of the things about what we were going to be dealing with, and that's how we knew about the relic that was going to be at the in Zevriok stronghold. Was he told us, and he became a very strong fighter that we had to deal with. Of course, me and Dorian defeated him, but so whatever you have in mind for the boy, I don't know how well it'll work. If you have anything, I don't know, any ulterior motives with him. He's already got a timeline tied down to fate.
No, I don't have ulterior motives. I simply wish to examine the child.
Yeah, calling him subject whatever 17 usually doesn't seem very empathetic. So, forgive me if it seemed like there might have been a little bit of, you get what I'm saying.
Well, he is
Hey.
the 17th subject that I've studied.
Yes, Gavin.
A question: how many minutes or hours and minutes into the stream are we right now? Because I just missed like your entire conversation, and I'd like to be able to jump to it tomorrow.
It's hour 30. It's nothing. We're just kind of telling him about what us knowing Thelvorn as an adult.
Oh, okay, gotcha. But yeah, I'm good now. So
Yeah, you haven't missed anything, man. So,
okay.
but yeah, just be aware that he will actually grow up and become pretty powerful. Not a bad person. He'll actually defeat the Lich in his world.
Well, it depends. The dwarf is quite obscure. Who knows what type of lessons he's treating him now? If he's doing any type of lessons at all.
I'm sure Dorian's teaching the boy as best he can. But if you want to see them, by all means. I just want to give you the heads up on what we're walking into.
He is controlled by fate, you say.
Well, he's already got a destination destiny that he's already lived out in one version. But again, I don't know how timelines like that work. That's not really my forte.
So, right about this time, Shiziki, you see Mithra round a corner, and she is walking towards you with purpose, moving very quickly.
I tell you what, Velasquez, I need to have a conversation that I'm sure you could do without. Why don't you head on into the tent and I'll catch up with you.
Sure.
So she gets over to you and says, and like kind of grabs your armor by the collar and says, "When were you gonna tell me?"
When everything calmed down, just even in the slightest?
My
Have you-
uncle is dead, and you haven't told me yet.
Look, Mithra.
Why?
Because I wanted to soften the blow for you as much as I could. Look, I wanted to be the one to tell you, but unfortunately that doesn't seem to be the case. Which is why I wanted to go ahead and give you one last evening of fun. I wanted to talk to you about it last night, but seeing how happy you were, how well you were hitting things up with Azrael, I couldn't bring myself to have that much more hardship that I had to carry to push onto you. Which is also why I wanted to talk to you about other things first. Your future, your daughter's future, making sure that your family was taken care of as best as I could.
Make a persuasion check. That'll do. Even with a natural 4, that'll do. She says, I understand, just... And you see she's fighting through tears now. He's my uncle. Now, I know what you must think of him, but... He is... My uncle, if you can believe it, he was a good man once.
I'm sure he was. And in all honesty, after the things that I heard him say about you, it might be best that things ended now before they could have gotten worse, so you can at least remember him for the man that he was. It's not... There's no good way of looking at this. There really isn't. And I'm terribly sorry for your loss. But you're not the only one that was robbed of family. I understand I've had people taken from me as well. Perfect timing for that. But if there's anything I can do for you, anything more, please just let me know.
Just... Please, just... If you can, just... He needs... I know how people will remember him, and... As the man who betrayed a kingdom. Just... Let people know, if you can, that... He gave many people a place to be, a purpose. The Necrolites, for many, that was all they had. As I've expressed to you many times, it's not like a necromancer skill set. It's something you can use in a whole lot of places. And he gave me a purpose. He gave me a home. The best thing that you can do is just... I know how he has been ever since you arrived, but just... Please believe when I say that he is not the villain, or at least hasn't always been the villain that I'm sure he will be made out to be.
Well, Mithra, I'll make sure that the Necrolites are taken care of. That's what me and Azrael are already putting into motion, to make sure that they have a place to go. And to be honest, as long as you continue to live your life the way that you are going out to do and the way your daughter is, well, if he raised you, the way you present yourself represents him. Live a good life. Live it right. And that'll show in its own way of how good of a man that Artigan was, if he was such an influence on raising you.
He was always distant, but at the very least, he didn't have to step up the way he did after my parents were killed. He didn't have to, but he did. That's good for something, right?
course it is. Mithra, my parents were taken from me violently. And I was taken in by an uncle myself. I understand how you feel.
Well, just thank you. And I'm sorry I came after you the way I did.
Oh, I completely understand, Mithra. It's very justified, and I'm sorry. I should have talked to you about it sooner. But
Well,
I will let you know that I've been good on my word, and I've already followed through with the things we talked about last night. Whenever you're ready, I've arranged for an armed guard to take your daughter and your brother to Angaria. And Wilhelm is still in the medical tent, but I think it would be good if you go and introduce yourself.
later. Right now, I think I need a drink. By the way, it's like noon.
Perfectly understandable.
She gives you a hug and just says, just thank you for everything that you've done for the Necrolites and for my family. As I've said about my uncle for stepping up, once again, that is not something that you had to do, but you did it anyway.
I care about you, Mithra, in the short time that we've known each other. And I'm sorry I hid this from you, but I did it in your best interest. But I want you to know that you can trust me and you can come to me if you need me. But we need to be able to rely on other good people, especially with the way this world's turning out. So just know that you can always trust me.
I will, and thank you. The last favor that I will ask of you is the people who corrupted my uncle so, that turned him into what he is, that tainted the legacy of my family forever. Make them suffer.
Oh, I promise you, they're not going to be getting off lightly. I'm going to be putting a lot of plans in motion to make sure that these people are stopped for good.
Good. Good. She kind of unexpectedly, jumps at you and gives you one more hug. She says, and now I think I'll go get that drink.
Take care of yourself, Mithra.
Take care of yourself. She was saying the same thing. You do the same, Shiziki.
See, as I go, I'm reading people. I know what she's going to say before she does.
As she just walks away with her head down, wiping away tears.
Did she not even notice the giant-ass T-Rex that's following me around? I don't understand. I got a Valkyrie, I got a T-Rex. Nobody seems to notice these things. They are just rolling that ones on perception checks.
She knows that she saw the T-Rex, but it's not like it was a surprise to her. She was with you when you summoned it.
Yeah,
in fact, she was riding the T-Rex around with you.
I know with this, but still, she didn't address the fact that the T-Rex is still following me. Fine. She's all up in her own head.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, I will come into the tent, and I will have Jumbaloo set outside.
He, once again, very clumsily, it's almost like he doesn't even, gradually lower himself to the ground. He's not laying like a dog or anything. He very human-like, just kind of drops his weight to the ground and sits smack on his ass with enough impact that it shakes the ground.
Oh, that's a good boy. You're gonna have to get him some food here in a second. But yeah.
Might as well just, get him a collar.
Maybe I'll do just that.
If lost, if giant T-Rex is lost, please use this scrying location. Here's a piece of my DNA if you need to return the T-Rex to me.
Man, I haven't put my DNA on nobody. Warlocks, man, we ain't putting our hair and blood out for people to come grab. You kidding? Nah. Anyhow, I'll go into the tent, join with everybody else.
All right. So as you were approaching the tent, you heard like clashing metal. Both you and Valastrios did. And the first thing you see when you open the door is just Thelvorn just running at Dorian, swinging a katana with him, which Dorian blocks easily. But you can tell his arm gives a little bit when he does. Like there's some force behind the impact.
Hey, look, it's Baby Thelvorn. I had a feeling we'd bump into him again.
He ignores you and continues just trying to hit Dorian, which Dorian continues to just effortlessly parry.
Oh, hey, is that the katana that he gave us?
That who gave you?
Well, I was asking Dorian. Hold your horses there, Thelvorn.
I take my eyes off of Thelvorn as I step to the side, and he falls over. And yeah, well, that's the one.
Oh,
It
good.
started glowing from the bag.
Well, he told us that it would do something. Actually, I don't think he said it would do anything, but he just made us give our word that we give it to him. So, good. Mission accomplished.
Well, he has it. Once Thelvorn stands up, I'll put my hand on the side of his head and push him back to the ground. He's
Which
learning.
you do easily enough.
So, what's exactly going on here then, Dorian?
Well, he said that he was going to grow big and strong to kill me because I killed his dad, and I threw him an axe and told him to go ahead and try. So then the sword started glowing, and I told him to try again. And he's been trying for
About 30 minutes.
about 30 minutes. He's just swinging, not even doing anything.
I'm gonna whisper over to Valastrios. I'm actually the one that killed his dad. Actually, I'm the one that killed him the first time. We kind of brought him back, interrogated, killed him again. But I'm the one that killed him the first time, just saying.
Let me roll something. Thelvorn heard you say that. You killed my dad?
Well,
Very
it's,
keen hearing. You killed my father?
well, it's kind of a team effort there, kiddo.
He's not listening. He picks up a sword and runs at you.
I grab him by the collar.
Make a athletics check.
Oh, shoot. I don't know Dorian's stats because I don't have his thing. That's a
Regardless, your natural roll was higher than mine. He runs at Shiziki, and you just effortlessly just reach a hand out, grab the back of his collar, and he almost like snaps, chokes himself a little bit, and falls back and lands flat on his ass.
Now, let me ask you this. Why are you mad that your father's not around anymore?
Why wouldn't I be?
Because your father was a terrible person that murdered a bunch of people. He killed a lot of other people's fathers and mothers. In fact, he killed a lot of my extended family.
Might makes right. My father was stronger than them.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, we killed your father, so we're in the right.
Shut up!
Look, kid, I understand you're angry. Like, my parents were taken from me, and I still hold a grudge about it. But the fact of the matter is, my parents were good people. Yours was a murderer. And you'll come to eventually understand that, I know, because I've spoken to you in the past, future, pasture, fast, whatever you want to call it. You'll come around.
You speak nonsense. There's no such thing as traveling through time.
Yeah, you know what? I had the same discussion with you. I don't understand timelines. I'm not even going to try to. But because of this, you're going to be a better person in the long run.
And then I'll kill both you and Dorian.
Man, you're just like a one-track mind, isn't it?
Well, I mean, he kind of is right. Did kind of kill me once.
Oh, that's right. He did. Ah, I got you back, though. Pretty quick. I wouldn't really even count it.
I mean, one could say that you brought me back before one got back from the bathroom.
Sure. One could
Which is
definitely say
exactly
that.
Which is exactly how I remember it.
But anyhow, Thelhorn, I wouldn't try and chew on it too much. I tell you what, when you become an adult and you want to come challenge me, yeah, that's your right. I'll be waiting.
And then I
From-
will have my revenge.
From one person who's had their parents taken away from them to another. Trust me, I can understand.
So, child, how about a new deal?
What?
I train you to kill Shiziki.
Oh, that's a good one.
Deal.
But we can't start your training till you get over your thirst.
How am I supposed to get over? How?
Well, I don't know.
Hey, Valastrios, any
Mhm.
thoughts you want to weigh in here? This is your, this is him.
Um. Hmm. This is interesting. Everything that y'all have just said. How to get over a thirst. And you don't want to give him blood.
Karzai speaks up and says, I believe abstaining from it will eventually give him the willpower to resist.
Dwarf, I bet you abstain from a lot of things, but food and drink is not one, is it?
I am a dwarf.
Yes, that's what I thought.
Well, I mean, does he only want human blood? There's plenty of animals that we all eat.
Yes, why not feed the boy animal blood?
No member of the Order of Shield and Light will drink blood. This
Well,
is
why not?
heresy.
Well, he's not a member yet.
Well, you never eat a steak rare?
That is different.
How?
I don't require it. He does. For now.
Okay, you don't require a lot of things that I'm sure you help yourself to. Do you not require
Yeah.
ale, but you enjoy that?
I do require ale.
Okay, if you require ale and have to have it, he requires blood and has to have it. So explain to me the difference now, please.
Have you ever made ale?
No, because I don't make things for myself. I have other people do that for me.
Oh, look at you. Other people make stuff for it. It's different.
Okay, I'm done speaking with you. Anyhow, Valastrios, you were saying?
Dwarf, you're not too far off. What if you taught him the patience and the price of blood?
Oh, thank you.
What if he had to help shepherd his own animals? Taught him how to survive.
I suppose this would be a... This is a thought. I don't know, I just figured that after long enough without having it, he could just learn to live without it.
I don't think that will work. What if you were to abstain from beer, as Shiziki said? Would you not go mad?
See a little twitch just at the thought. I
No.
suppose.
No, let's put this theory to a test. You're a man of knowledge. Give me your stein.
A man that tries to take my stein will lose his hand.
Oh, okay. All right, great. Well, how about you go get a lamb to slaughter then?
I will find some form of wildlife. The wood elves are still here. I am sure they have a recent kill.
Well, I'll tell you what, while you're at it, that's a very hungry, good little boy that's sitting outside this tent. Why don't you have them bring enough for him as well, please? I can trust that you'll believe me when I say he also needs to eat.
Yes, there's wisdom in that. Yes, I'll see what I can do.
Perfect. Well, run
And he
along now.
leaves.
I have other things to talk to these people about. While we have a moment, there's also something else I wanted to bring up to everyone's attention here, and this is also with the amulet on.
Okay.
Let me make sure lock is like trying to act up. Okay, I think it's okay. Delvorn, if you could quell your blood rage for a moment here, while the rest of us kind of speak for a moment. Dorian, Valastrios, and Philia, since she's on there. I wanted to get your opinion on something here regarding the Hands of Fate. It seems to me that, as it stands, we're kind of lacking on information on dealing with the group. I had a thought, if it's alright with everyone here, since I know everyone's kind of involved, of how we could come to a non-aggression treaty with them. Just something to at least buy us some time until we find out more information. But I didn't want to move forward with it until I get everyone's input. I just didn't want anyone else who has family, friends, or anyone close to them getting attacked while we're still trying to figure out how to deal with them. Thoughts?
Well, Suzuki, I'm leaving for the Brotherhood. This was a fun adventure. So whatever it is that y'all do, y'all do.
Fair enough. Blastros?
Oh, do I have to partake in these things?
Well, you're part of the Sins now. By the way, Dorian, he's agreed. He's now Wrath.
Yes. Wrath. Well, if that is what you choose, I care not. Our next decisive measure.
No? Feely, what do you think? As long as we can kill Voltaire and eventually kill Relicanter. Yes, I'm completely in agreement with that. I just wanted to make sure that everyone agreed to this. The plan is not to let these people go, but at least to stop the attacks between us and them. I don't want to have another murdered Wilhelm showing up at anybody's feet or anybody else that could be close to somebody until we're ready to make a move. And I think I might have a way of doing that. It's going to be a wait and see, but it's at least an attempt. Whatever, as long as we get to kill Relicanter and Voltaire. Okay, Philia. You bloodthirsty demon.
That's racist.
Any other objections? Because if not, I'll go ahead
Did you
and
hear what
put
I
things in
said?
motion. Yeah, I did. If you don't have any objections, I'll go ahead and put things in motion. But you can continue on with what you're saying, and I'm gonna take out some paper, and I'm gonna start writing a short letter.
Okay.
Unless you guys just want me to write the letter, I don't know if we're continuing on with the thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good.
Okay. So, I will write the letter, and then I will cast, what's it called? My courier spell. What is it called?
All right.
You know what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah.
Galeberg
Something
Speedy
speedy.
Courier.
Yeah.
All right, and I will have it set to go to Voltier. And the letter will
Oh.
read as this, because I actually wrote this on my phone the other day.
Make sure you can read it out, but at some point send it to me in a message.
Okay, that's fine. It will say, Dear Dipfuck McFartface, aka Voltier, inform your master that we would like to parley with him. If he finds this agreeable, then I will speak with him in his dreams this evening. Please and thank you. And by please I mean eat shit, and by thank you I mean I hope you get ass herpes. XOXO, Shaz. P.S. I'm sending 2 coins. Take one, leave the other as an answer. Take the silver if you agree, take the copper, you refuse, and your breath smells like bugbear balls. So I will
Okay.
put the letter and 1 silver coin and 1 copper coin into the chest, and I will send it off.
You wait about close to 60 seconds before it comes back with a missing silver coin.
Perfect. Things are set in motion. And Gavin, I'm just going to text it to you.
Okay. Well, if that is all, I must return to my studies. And Velastros goes to leave if nobody's going to say anything.
Well, also, just a quick question, Velastros. I understand that Dorian set it off in his own way, but what's the plan for us? Are we heading towards the Spire of the Gods, like we
Right about this
intended?
time, you see there's actually, what's the changeling Wood Elf's name?
Oh, Nalasek.
Oh yeah, Nalisette comes back, and she kind of pulls the curtain back and says, Shiziki? Hi, I was told to... I have a owl bear carcass here and an elk. I was told to bring them here.
Perfect. Let's see. Which one goes to the boy? Which one do we want to Jumbaloo out there?
The owl bear goes to the T-Rex.
Alrighty.
And
Well,
what
why
was
don't
the
we
other
bring
one?
the elk
An elk.
in here?
Yeah, that one goes to the boy.
Yeah, Jumbaloo immediately just starts feasting on the owl bear. That was the bigger of the two anyway.
Yes.
I will actually feed the owlbear. Dorian, you let me to figure out what to do with the Hands of Fate. I'm gonna let you figure out what to do with Elvorn. You know as much about him as I do.
So Dorian is going to show Thelvorn how to dress the animal.
I
Okay.
am going to just feed the owlbear to Jumbaloo and let him just make a giant mess of it.
Oh yeah, it's brutal, it's bloody.
Ah, that's a good boy.
He tears away at it, cracking through bones and all. There's nothing left except for a
Can
bloody
a
smear
T-Rex
on
learn
the
to
ground.
shake? I mean, it's got the tiny little arms. Can that even be a thing? If I want to try and teach him to shake?
I mean, he'd have to lay down, but sure, let me make an intelligence check for the T-Rex. Hey, that wasn't bad. That was a natural 19. Minus 2.
I'm
So,
going to see if I can start teaching him how to shake while we're doing this.
actually,
But
I
this
think
is
it's
what I'm
minus
doing.
3. So 16. Yeah, he shakes.
This is what I'll be doing for the next however long. I'm basically killing time until it's time for me to go meet with Ginzo anyway, so this can continue on without me.
All right. So Dorian is teaching him how to dress the elk.
Yep. You know what that means, Gavin?
That means slicing the stomach open and pulling the guts out.
Yeah. And all you gotta drain it and hang it. And how to skin it and everything.
Yeah. Immediately he just starts tearing into it though, and well, not really tearing into it, but he just finds what would likely be the largest vein around the neck
I'll
and just bites
slap
in.
the shit out of him the moment he does it.
Oh, okay. I
Patience,
thought-
child. No. Stop. You watch. And then you do. patience.
If you cut it
Shiziki-
open, you'll let all the blood go to waste.
No, that's why you get a collection bowl. When you collect it. The blood is used for other means, not just for spoil.
Okay, fine.
You know who else has patience?
Who?
Shiziki. He will wait, and can live just as long as you. He will wait and hide until you are old and frail, and he will slit your throat in the night, boy.
Not if I kill him first.
I'll flick him in the forehead. And what if you just rush in? Huh? And then he just cuts you down.
I will
Then you
be
won't be anywhere.
strong.
Yeah, you keep saying that. Sit down and watch. I will not let him just bum rush his way through life. He's got to learn.
He
I like
watches
how this
intently.
kid is all about killing me as I'm outside feeding a pet T-Rex.
Yeah, I know, for real. So, there's only one thing that I want Velasquez to do, Gavin.
Okay.
I want to go get a drop of blood from Blue.
Oh. Alright.
Tell Blue it's to check his health. I need to check his health, make sure he's in good condition because of all the dangers and exposure at the Necronomica.
Necropolis. But
Yeah,
yes.
that's what I said.
He agrees, and you have a rather very, very tiny, skinny stiletto that you find. That could be
I probably have
Used.
needles.
Oh, and then you would have those too, I guess.
Just get like a couple drops of blood, and that's all I need.
Okay.
Now, Blue,
Yes.
how was your lessons today?
I learned how my mother saved these people.
And how did that make you feel, learning that?
Good, I guess. I learned that my mother also helped defeat an ancient necromancer by the name of Vecna.
That is the most noblest cause, what your mother did.
I also learned that that is how Zevriok was killed.
What's that?
Vecna killed Zevriok.
Oh, interesting. And your mother killed Vecna?
Yes, not by herself, but yes.
And who else was there?
A vampire named Kos also helped cut Vecna down.
You are learning fast, young dragon. Are you finding it peaceful here? Do you need to expand your wings?
I can't fly very well yet. It is okay here.
Well, we will be traveling soon. And I will let you out into the wild whenever you need.
Okay.
You must go into the wild, child. You have to spread your wings at some point. But you ought to return here, to never leave here for longer than is sunrise.
I don't want to leave here. It's safe here. It's
No,
warm here.
you are destined to be greater than your mother. Remember what the priestess said earlier? You will learn these lessons of your mother heartedly. You will do more than she.
Okay. If you think so. Right now I'm just hungry.
And the colorful one will be back to see you shortly, I promise.
Okay. Wait, the colorful one? Who's the colorful one?
Shiziki.
Oh, okay. I like him too. I like all of you guys. You guys are nice to me.
Yes. So I want to do like what you were saying earlier, where I made the alchemy check, and I want to use one of the drops of. I want to store one of drops of his blood somewhere else, and I want to use his blood to see if I can make like a some type of thing that could be used as like a substance
Like
thing
a
for the.
substitute
Yeah,
for regular blood.
yeah, make like a synthetic blood.
Yeah, make another alchemy check. Since you did so well on the other one, I'll give you advantage on this one.
Ooh, advantage. This is a plus 11, so it's a 31. I couldn't
Oh
have rolled
yeah.
higher if I wanted to.
Oh yeah. So you it occurs to you as you're having a bit of a hard time synthesizing the blood that perhaps it's because of the tainted nature, I guess, of what blood represents for so many things, that maybe if there was some way to counteract that, you might be able to have more success with the replication process. And then it occurs to you, why not substitute the purified water for holy water instead? You do that. You mix together some elemental salts. You throw in a few like preserved like necromantic substances into it. And suddenly what was a bowl that was had barely enough to stain the bottom of it fills up with this almost clear, like silvery substance with a tinge of red to it. It's almost like a silvery rose gold, but completely liquid, as it seems to just self-replicate until it fills the bowl.
So I will get one little. What are those? Like I will fill one little vial of it. When I take the liquid out, does it refill itself?
No. It seems to be that all you get is what the container size was of the original batch. You're not entirely sure if a larger container would be able to make more or not, or if it was just coincidence that it happened to fill up the whole bowl. You're not certain.
Okay. All right. I will take that one vial. I'll make several vials, several little tiny vials, and I will take that one vial to Dorian and have
Okay.
him give it to the kid. And what
The kid looks at Dorian and just says, "What's this?"
Velasquez will speak up. It is a synthetic cure for your thirst. I hope.
And what if you're wrong?
I am not wrong. I am an archmage, child. Do you know what that is?
You practice magic?
No. I'm a master of magic. I practiced magic when I was but 3.
I see. And this could help.
Is that what I said?
He enthusiastically begins reaching for the vial. Does Dorian let him take it?
Yeah, Dorian won't let him take it.
As he, like, with a force, like, snatches it out of Dorian's hand, uncorks the vial, and guzzles it down. The first thing you notice when he does is
Velasquez
yellow-
pulls out his notebook and pen and quill. Starts to write.
his yellow eyes, which is already different from vampires, because vampires typically have red irises, not yellow, while his are yellow, which would really, and also that Velasquez would know that yellow eyes, as far as elves go, are typically only seen in sun elves, which his elven parentage comes from wood elves, so that's already different. But these eyes just kind of flash, and the like sunburnt kind of did you hear me for that last stuff? My audio cut out.
I heard you.
Okay. His like sunburnt complexion kind of fades almost to like a pale humanoid, where it seems as though like this weakness that he had gotten, this damage to his skin from sun exposure, kind of fades. He suddenly seems to have more of his strength back, and he looks and says, My thirst is gone. I'm satiated. This is incredible.
Mm-hmm. Yes, incredible, yes. Oh, I perceived. I thought you were going to die with the poison. With the holy water mixed into. Holy water has no adverse effects to the vampiric child, subject 17. And Velasquez snaps his book closed. That will be all. Thank you, Dorian. Thank you, Thelfor.
Do you have more of this?
I do.
Can I have it?
No.
Why not?
Because then you would just drink it all. You only need it when you need it.
And what if I need it and you're not there? Am I to be bound to you?
No. It will be there when you need it.
He looks in almost with like a rage. He says,
But-
I want more.
Velasquez reopens his book and starts to write again. And what will you do?
I will drink it.
No.
I like it.
What? No. What will you do to get it? If you want more and you demand such, what will you do for it? Will you attack me? Does this make you angry?
It does.
Why?
Because I want more and you won't give it to me.
Am I not the one who just tried to provide help to you? And now you seek aggression towards me?
What if I need it and I don't have it?
What if you have it and you don't need it, and then it breaks? Then what are you to do? You are but a child. What if somebody was to steal it from you? Who would protect you then?
I don't know.
Well, it seems that you must learn and study hard.
Fine.
I will
I feel
continue
better
to
now.
make batches, and I will send it to Dorian as he sees fit. Now, I must know the moment you get your thirst back, you must tell me the exact date and time.
Okay. Fine. It's not like it's something I suddenly get, though. It starts as but a mere craving and begins to grow. So would you like me to know when it becomes uncontrollable or when I start to feel it?
Yes,
What?
yes, all of it, child, all of it. I need to know everything.
Well, if you must know, I'm still thirsty. It's just better.
I see. And have you tried the elk blood?
It does help. But it has been so long since I've had it. That other dwarf, he wouldn't let me have any.
Have any what?
Any blood. I
What?
caught a squirrel once and he took it away from me.
Did your father feed you human blood?
Regularly.
Interesting. Well, I will see you in the morn, child.
I guess. I suppose.
Is Shiziki still outside playing with his T-Rex?
The
Yeah, I'm
T-Rex has finished the owl bear.
I'm also hanging out with Nalasek, just since she's there. Figured we'd be probably hanging out feeding the T-Rex together.
Yeah, and she actually asked, so, okay, I have to ask, where did you find a T-Rex? And why is it so friendly to you?
I don't know if you've noticed, but I got a lot of tricks up my sleeve. This is just one of them. By the way, how's that cloak working out for you?
I like it. It's definitely helped me out when it comes to hunting.
Good. Glad to hear that. Yeah, it's always nice when friends help out friends. Now here, let's go ahead and cut this other limb off here. There we go. Come on, Jumbaloo.
He gives you a solid lick and lets out a little grunt. I can't do T-Rex grunts, but that's what he does.
That's
Sounds
fine.
like
I don't need you to RP that one. We're good.
The T-Rex sounds like roar.
Rawr. That's what he says.
And
So.
I'm also gonna, while we're out there talking, if it's just the two of us, I'm gonna give Nalisik a little warning. You just also, Nalisik, I want to thank you again for your help with Artigan earlier on. That was beneficial, but you should know that river runs deep. Artigan was involved with a whole other group that seems to want to go to war with ours. I just want you to be careful out there. It seems we're not the only ones with our talents that are making waves, especially doppelgangers, which I'm sure will try and put out a bad name for us. Just take care of yourself.
As they always have. However, Shiziki, I will be fine. My concern is more for you. I can, it seems, stay off of their radar, but you, if I know you like I have come to know you in our short time together, this is the kind of thing that you're going to run head first towards. And I worry about the implications of that for you. Our species is few, and any changeling that perishes is a tragedy. And much more so, I would hate to see something happen to you.
Well, thank you for that. I'll be okay. But I have to see this through. For myself and for our people.
Aye, but our people's future also depends on your survival.
Oh, I'm not going anywhere. Trust me, I've got long plans ahead. Thank you for your concern. But you don't have to worry, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon.
I see. And have you, as you're the first other changeling that I have ever met, but there are not many of us. Have you found any more since we last spoke?
Just one. And unfortunately, he needs some rearing. He's decided to throw in with the other team.
Why would he do that? This
That is
other team in the shadows supported a group that hunted us. Why would he throw in with them?
a phenomenal question that I would like to get to the answer. Because I can't wrap my head around why he would.
Perhaps he can be saved. Perhaps he can be made to see the error of this decision.
I didn't get that impression from him. In the short meeting with him that I've had, I think he knows exactly what he's doing and who he's doing it to. And I think he's dug his heels in the ground of where he's going to stand in this fight.
That is very unfortunate. Just, if you see any way that he can be saved, my only concern is because for how few our people are. If any means of saving this individual presents itself, I do hope that you would take it.
I'll look for any opportunity that presents itself, but at the same time, if he's willing to hunt us, he needs to be purged. Because there are a few of us. And I will protect our people no matter what the cost.
I do suppose that if you must kill one in order to save the many, then that I do understand.
I take it with a heavy heart, I do.
Sometimes one diseased crop must be purged to prevent the affliction from affecting the entire pasture.
Couldn't agree more. I think this is a cancer that needs to be purged from the body. And on that note, I'm going to step away for a minute because baby's crying. I got to go fix a bottle for him.
All right.
All right.
So, at this point, personally, I've done everything that I'm going to do with Galeberg, but I know there's a trip over to Geardale that you guys are supposed to be taking, so yeah, you can depart whenever you guys are ready.
Well, it's already 9:42, so I'm gonna hop off here in a second.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Well, I got a couple things that I still need to take care of, just like meeting with Genzo and Olaf, but
Yeah.
All right. Well, I will see you guys next week.
And I think next week is your week. So,
Next week we do the monster of the week.
yes.
Super stoked.
I look forward to basically being Castiel.
So I did tell y'all that you're all familiar with yourselves, right?
With each other, yes.
Okay. So it's not gonna be like a huge surprise that everybody's there.
Hey, Tony, can I
Yeah.
have an angel blade as my divine?
What does the angel blade do?
It can kill angels and demons,
Uh,
as well as like, I don't know if you have. I'm talking strictly supernatural here, but the angel blade in supernatural is the only weapon that can kill angels, demons, and reapers.
I thought I had uploaded the thing into. What did I upload the document thing for it? I
anywho.
thought I uploaded the PDF for it somewhere.
But yeah, I would basically
So-
just want a weapon that's capable of killing angels and demons.
Yeah,
I'll
it'd
pop
just be
my head
magic.
in before Tony leaves here, but Vlasteros.
Okay.
So, what's the plan then? Do you want to head to Geardale after this, or I think we need to go to the Spire of the Gods?
No, we can go wherever.
Spire of the Gods it is.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah, I figured that's probably what you guys would do.
Yeah.
And like, since Kelly's not here, since you guys are gonna visit there, you can just have her do her swap
that's what I figured.
anytime.
Oh, so
So-
we kind of changed up the move-in date, so I'm moving this weekend, and I won't have internet till Sunday.
Oh, where are you moving to?
Just down the street.
Okay.
Yeah, we're getting a
You
house.
renting a house?
Yeah.
What's you guys' rent look like?
900.
It's not bad.
It's a 2-story, 3-bedroom house with a full furnished basement.
Cool. Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Expect you to swing by sometime
I will. When are you guys moving?
this weekend,
Like Saturday?
like Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
Also, next time you're in Fayetteville, can you get those blue chairs from your mom's house for me?
yeah, I will.
Okay, cool. Thanks. My mom keeps talking about them.
Yeah, I'll get him.
All right, thanks a lot. All right, Sean, we'll see you.
Okay.
Y'all have a good one.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I was telling Tony that I've done everything I planned on doing for Galeberg, so it's really just up to you. Who else you want to talk to? What else you want to do? And
This is
after that,
always-
you are free
It's
to
always like at
depart.
the end, it's just me talking to a bunch of people.
Yeah, that's all right though.
Alright, yeah, well, now that Jumbaloo's all well and fed, um, I'm gonna see if Nalisik wants to join me. I need to go and track down. In fact, I'll hit Zai on the amulet. Zai!
Yeah, yeah. Hey, Suzuki, what's up?
Hey, I gotta go meet with the guy that's supposed to be over by my tent. Can you head on over there and see if he's there?
No.
Zai, head on over there and see if he's there.
You hear like a sound of sharpening metal. Fine, fine, I can do it.
And this is like while we're still
Fine.
feeding and doing all that. So, does he find Olaf where my tent was?
Yeah, he does. He finds him.
Yeah, bring him on over here. Nalisik, you might want to hang out for a bit. This might actually be beneficial to you too. I don't know, but I've got a guy that's pretty somewhat well known for his expertise in poisons. Oh my god, you are either farting or pooping like crazy right now. Oh, that's pooping. Yeah, he's out of town. That's alright. He was super hungry, so he's like chowing down on his bottle. Alright, but yeah, so I'll have them bring him on over to us while we're, feeding the T-Rex.
Okay. He comes over and he looks haggard as shit. Yeah. Oh, it's too bright out here. Yeah.
How's Zai looking? Like, what's it look like he's been up to?
So he looks somewhat sleep deprived. Eyes a little reddened. He is don't know where he got it from, but he is carrying a rather sharp looking axe.
Zai?
Yeah.
Want to tell me what that's about?
It's an axe.
Elaborate. Are you using axes now? I thought you were training to be a monk.
This is for something different.
You gotta let that go, man.
I don't even know what you're talking about. Let
You
let
know
what
what I'm
go?
talking about. Go stand off to the side. Well, actually, you know what? Hang out here for a moment, just in case you learn something. But anyhow, Olaf. Good seeing you again.
Yeah. What is this about?
Well, I heard you're the expert on poisons around here.
Yeah, used to work for the Xanatharian crime syndicate. Xanathar's head poisoner.
Wow, that's phenomenal. Well, I happen to be in the business of trying to get some poisons. And learn to work with them a bit. Now, did you
Okay.
happen to bring any of your stock, or have any around? Something I could look at, peruse?
Yeah, here. This is what I like to call Medusa's folly. It's a poison that renders immediate paralysis. One of my creation. This is the one that I would use a lot. Can we go inside somewhere?
You know what? That sounds great. Let's, I'll tell you what, I think I'm gonna let them finish doing their thing. Why don't you hop on up? I'll give you a ride on over to the tavern.
You have got to be kidding me.
What, you've never ridden a T-Rex before?
You know, can't say I have. No.
Well, first time for everything, and I'll start scrambling up onto Jumbaloo's back.
He cautiously begins walking over to Jumbaloo, who immediately turns his head and starts growling.
Well, did you ask him if you could ride?
You want me to talk to a T-Rex?
Well, it doesn't look like he's gonna let you ride otherwise, now does it?
T-Rex, can I ride you? He starts. He what? He starts growling at him. He keeps growling at him.
Looks like you're gonna have to go the old-fashioned way. Come on. Celio and
Get-
Nalisek, I'll see if they can hop on.
Oh yeah, he likes Nalisek. She has a way with animals.
Perfect.
She gives him a little piece of meat, and yeah, you know, with her, it just seems like animals always like her.
The three of us will ride over to the tavern. He can follow in suit.
Fine. And you see, what's kind of funny is the casual pace for the T-Rex. He pretty much has to do a brisk jog just to keep up with the T-Rex's normal walking speed. And he arrives at the tavern out of breath.
Yeah, I kind of figured he would. I'm gonna go get over there and get a round for everybody but Cilio. Cilio can have juice or whatever, she wants.
He looks at you just one moment, and you hear him run outside and start heaving his guts out as you just made the hungover guy sprint.
I'm gonna make it all worth your while, buddy. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna get him like a whole bottle of wine.
No. It's gonna take something better than that. Can just have him hand me a bottle of whiskey. Yeah, whiskey.
Yeah,
Sounds
bottle
better.
of whiskey from a man over here. I'll go ahead and order it.
Alright, that just deduct like 2 gold.
I will as soon as I get a hand free.
Yeah.
So, before you get into the rest of your wares on stock, there was something I asked you for. Did you happen to bring a bag of colding?
Yeah, that's what I carry everything in.
Well, today's your lucky day, because I want to take that off your hands.
The whole bag?
The whole bag.
Alright, how much you gonna offer me for it?
Well, let's see. I don't know what all's in there. About how much for your stock there, my friend?
You want all my poisons?
I'm a man that lives in dangerous times, as you can see by what's going on here. You have the capabilities of making more for yourself. That's outside of my skill set.
Alright, let me see what I have. As the DM looks up
And we are...
poisons.
I'm going to go ahead and let him start drinking heavily as this conversation goes.
Okay. Well, I have 3 poison grenades, 2 Medusa's Follies, 10 false health potions.
What's a false health
Eh.
potion? Is that the stuff we found in the...
Yeah,
Okay.
it looks and smells, tastes, is indistinguishable from a healing potion, except it's poison.
Also, I want to... I'm just going to say, so we don't have to go into every line of the RP thing, get him to explain everything he has, and I'm also going to bring out all the poisons and different things that I have that I don't know what exactly damage-wise they do, and have him kind of like walk it through and explain what all this stuff is over drinks.
Okay. So remind me of each of those poisons again, and I can tell you.
Oh my
more.
god. Okay. See, let's have that one. I have all these random things that I have accomplished and grabbed. I have Lola's venom sac from the giant spider. I have 2 nightcap mushrooms. I have throw my scrolls. A few vials of blood. The vial from the acid from inside the necropolis with that green junk that was in there. I don't know, there's a lot of stuff. So you can just give that to me whenever, man. Just shoot it to me in Discord or whatever.
Yeah, we'll do.
We're just gonna... I just want to see if you can identify and kind of tell me what this stuff is capable of.
Yeah, which I would do now. If Fantasy Grounds is not being good for me tonight, man. Again, the very familiar blue spinny circle as I'm trying to look this stuff up.
That's all good, man. Like, so you can get it to me whenever. We can just have ourselves our little conversation in Discord in the meantime.
Yeah. Like, it's not letting me do anything. Anytime I try to click on anything, it just lags up. But anyway, yeah, I'll worry about that when I can. So.
Okay.
Oh, what the hell? The server just crashed.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Good night.
Well, in the meantime, you want to just RP? Or not? Oh, did you like disconnect entirely?
Like it completely, the entire fantasy grounds crashed.
Yeah, I got you. I'm just saying, like in the meantime, like while that's booting up, we can just do the RP stuff in Discord.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I was just for a while, for a good 20 seconds there, I couldn't hear anything in Discord.
Gotcha.
So
All right. Well, I guess we can't really talk prices or anything while you can't look anything up on Fantasy Grounds.
I think actually the bag of colding. I know I had that in one of my Word documents.
Yeah, but I'm gonna get like all his wares and everything that was in it too. What we're going
Yeah.
for. So we can circle back to that, man.
All right. Yeah, sorry for all the technical difficulties tonight.
It happens, man. Sometimes it's out of your control. All right. In the meantime, we'll continue this conversation when Fantasy Ground gets back up and running.
All right.
I will make my way on over to Genzo then at some point during that gap time frame.
Yeah, we'll just do the conversation in that order instead. Genzo first, then him.
Yeah, that's what I was figuring, because instead of trying to be able to look stuff up, this should be a pretty quick and easy thing.
Yeah. It's all right. So you make your way over to the detention camp that's been made within the city, and you see that Genzo has actually being guarded by two Dark Suns instead of Order of Shield and Light.
Is one of them Azrael?
No, but Azrael did meet you on the way over there as he approaches and said, "Ah, Shiziki, so the commander informed me that you wished for me to accompany you and to speak with one of our former members. I have not
Yeah.
had the pleasure."
Me and you gonna take over guard duty for half a sec.
I see. Now, I've heard quite a few things about this Genzo, in the Dark Suns and out of it as well. Apparently he is a legendary bounty hunter.
Something like that. He's got his own legends around him, just like most of us do, that have been around long enough. I get the feeling that you'll probably end up liking him. Excuse me. But, let's go ahead and make our introductions, shall we?
Yes, I lead the way. So you make your way over there, and you see just kind of this large boxed cage that has been set up, and a couple of Dark Suns. As you approach, you don't even have to say anything to them. They salute you and take their... Well, they salute you, let you in, and then lock it and take their leave.
Perfect. Genzo, what are you even doing here?
Who the hell's this? As he looks over at Azrael.
Uh,
Azrael plays Mark. Pleased to make your acquaintance. I joined the Dark Sun some months ago, but I've not had the pleasure. All Genzo just says is, "What the hell?" Yeah, what's up, Shiziki?
yeah, so what exactly
I was
happened
supposed to
here?
give
I
me,
thought you could never get caught. And all of a sudden, now I'm finding you in here?
This is only temporary.
Yes, it is. So I've had a little talk with Vivi, and I think I worked out a deal that you might be interested in.
I see. All right, go for it. Shoot.
Look, I think Vivi wants to capitalize on your skills. I get that. It's kind of a dick move what he did to you, I'm not gonna lie. And honestly, I was really expecting you to get away, so I didn't think I needed to intervene. Otherwise, I would have. Because this doesn't suit you. This is a joke. A bad one of that. But look,
Yeah, like I've said, no bars can hold me. This is just temporary. I'll get out.
well, it was actually my original intention to just go ahead and get you out, but after speaking with Vivi, we kind of came to a understanding of something that might work better for you. How about this? How about you play nice for a little bit, and then you get to get out, do what you want without the 4-year contract.
I'm listening.
So Azrael's already in the loop on this for the most part, so you don't have to worry about him. But I'm sure you've heard through the grapevine us having an ordeal with this group called the Hands of Fate. I'm sure you may have heard about them at least a little bit while your time with the Collectorate.
Some whispers here and there. Honestly, I can't tell you a lot about him.
Well, apparently, old boy that you were working for over in Sea Shroud was... Oh yeah, Fantasy Grounds just shut down entirely for me. Old boy that you were working for over in Sea Shroud was a part of the Hands of Fate as well. They're an underground organization that are working against really everybody.
Servers back up.
Okay, cool. I'll just close Fantasy Grounds and reopen them.
Okay.
Well,
So, how does that pertain to me?
because fortunately for you, war means opportunities, and they've declared war on the Dark Suns. So,
Oh, they're gonna lose.
sure. But here's what that means for you. Me and Vivi came to an understanding about what the best options were you for. Pending on your compliance with it. If you play nice and you go to Sea Shroud to stand trial, we'll follow through. I'll make sure that you're not found guilty. And instead of the usual agreement of after that you had to send a 4-year sentence, you're cut loose to do what you want. The expectation is that you'll still be under the 4-year contract. That will be a facade. Instead, you'll go out on your own to help us investigate and track down the members of the Hands of Fate, especially one called Relicanter or Voltaire. Voltaire is the one that murdered our friend Wilhelm. Relicanter is the one that's running their operations.
I see.
If you can do this, which to be honest, sounds like it should be right up your alley anyway, and the Hands of Fate are dealt with, you're cut loose. No 4-year contract, you can go back to doing what you want and living out your legends. All you have to do is play nice for at least a little while here, and act like you're going along with what everybody else already had planned for you. Go to Sea Shroud, stand trial, and I'll make air quotes as I'm saying this, until you're cut loose.
And I'll be found innocent.
I can absolutely guarantee you will not go to prison in Sea Shroud.
Alright, so I'm a bounty hunter. Something that I know is information is a weapon. What can you tell me about this Voltaire and this Relicanter?
Alright, but this is information nobody else knows. So I want you to be mindful and be careful with what I'm about to tell you. And I'm going to break it down. I'm just going to unleash everything that we know about Relicanter being, a pseudo-god with a domain of knowledge. He's working with doppelgangers. Voltaire having a rifle that rivals his. I'm going to just really just let him know, put him fully in the loop.
He seems especially interested in Voltaire. So, this Voltaire, we have a similar skill set, it sounds like.
Right, which
He's
seems
not- he's
like
not
he would
better
have
than
run in
me,
the
though.
same circles. But have you ever heard of anyone else like this? Carries the same type of weapon you do?
There was a long time ago when I was working a job for the Xanatharian Crime Syndicate. This was a couple years ago. There was a gnome who was under their employ. He used a weapon similar to mine, but not nearly as masterfully crafted as mine is. But he did carry a rifle. He didn't go by the name of Voltaire, though. What was
Voltaire might
his
just be an
name?
alias.
Figured as much. Oh, what was his name? Gebetto. That's what it was. His name was Gebetto.
Did he have a son named Pinocchio?
Actually, this is straight from the name generator that I found this one.
Well, what can you tell me about this Gebetto?
He was an assassin, though he oftentimes found himself at odds with the Xanathar. That's what I gathered.
Was he an assassin that worked for anybody? Was he freelance? Was he affiliated with another group?
He was affiliated for a very short time with the Xanatharian Crime Syndicate, but then he moved on. I know he came from Geardale. He was one of their head engineers for a while.
How does a head engineer become an assassin?
You know, I found myself wondering the same thing. That I don't have the answer for.
It's quite a career change.
Yeah, I'd say so. But that's all I know. It's possible that... What else? So... Wait, did you tell him that even Voltaire is a changeling?
I'll say that I knew he was a shapeshifter.
Okay. So if he's some sort of shapeshifter, then it's possible we could be talking about the same person. But I don't know.
Maybe. But I hadn't seen a weapon like that. In fact, I'd hardly ever see a sniper rifle aside from Genzo's, right? Out in the world.
Yeah, pretty much.
But
Yeah, in fact, you've really only seen like 2. So, I mean, there are long-range rifles. Scopes are a thing, and they've been used before. But to build something with as high of a caliber as that, no, you've really only seen that in 2 places.
I mean, something like that seems like it would be pretty exclusive. Not common, and especially not being common to find the people that know how to use that sort of thing.
Well, it's a gnomish design. They just haven't crafted too many of them. I just happen to... I'm a quick learner. And when I heard of the idea, I was able to craft one of my own.
Well, you have to keep in mind, going forward from here, you're supposed to be at odds with the Dark Suns, including me. So, with somebody like this, where do you get supplies for it? The ammo to make it? Anything to help track this guy down? Because if all goes according to plan, you're going to be a lone wolf going out on your own while we operate in tandem, but not together.
Well, the ammo would be pretty simple. You can use any scrap metal and melt it down, hollow it out, fill it with black powder. That's not the difficult part to comprehend.
So then,
However,
okay.
the design, unless he's same as me, and he just developed it on his own from nothing more of an idea. If he was to make it off of something a little more concrete, there's no place he could have gotten those schematics or designs for it other than Geardale.
Well, if we went to Geardale to try and get information from him, about him, where might you recommend we go? Who do we talk to?
Let's see. And actually, I'm going to need to pull up some notes for this one. Sorry, give me just a second.
No, you're fine, man.
My whole computer's just operating slow tonight. Like, I'm just trying to open up a Word document. Any day now. There we go. Okay. So, the best place I could think for you to check, it's crazy old man. Goes by the name of Archie. He runs a shop, and he's been under investigation several times by the Gnomish government for years, and some firearms he sells, all for the purpose of them being permitted to be sold and then to leave Geardale. Almost like he's camouflaging some of his features, because if he didn't, then they would be deemed illegal for sale to anybody who would actually leave the city. That might be the best place to look. He's sort of a crazy old man. He's got a bit of an obsession with risky machinery. Like, I went there once, and one thing that he sells is he calls it his accelerated detonation grenade, which does exactly what it sounds like. Might want to check there when you get to Geardale. His shop goes by the name of Archibald's Tinkers and Treasures.
That's a good starting point.
Yeah, just the Archie's completely safe and tested jump jet, one of his more common items that he sells. I'll just give you a hint. It's not completely safe and tested, as the name suggests. Imagine that.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting otherwise. By the way, I left some things with Vivi to pass along to you. Have you gotten them yet?
Yes.
Good.
I'll wear them, and yeah, I'm glad to have these. Needless to say, there's been more than a few people that I've made enemies of that might like to find me.
Between the people we're dealing with and the doppelgangers, I'm sure that'll come in handy. By all means, make use of them as best you can, but also keep in mind, that favor you owe me is growing.
Yeah, I know. You know I got you, Shaz. I'll be there when you need me.
I know you do, which is why I'm here for you now. Trust me, until Vivi convinced me of going with this plan otherwise, I was going to have you out of here before the day was done.
By the way, this is long overdue, but there's something I've been wanting to say to you for years. You know that it wasn't easy for me to leave, right? I know I just up and left rather quickly whenever I did, and I never really had a chance to say anything to you. You just kind of came back and I wasn't there, but I just want you to know, my time in the Dark Suns, I'll always remember them fondly. It wasn't a decision I took lightly.
We don't have to get all sentimental. I know how you feel. Trust me. Wasn't quite the same without you being around anymore. But I'm glad we get to keep working together now.
Yeah. And Shaz, I know you're strong, but I'll kick your ass in your grave if something happens to you, alright?
Yeah, sure. Give it a try. Trust me. I'm not gonna let anything happen to me anytime soon. I got plans for the future.
As do I.
I know. You're in my plans in the future. We got a whole world to run eventually, one of these days.
One of these days. Maybe the old man will finally do what everybody's afraid of one day.
Please, don't even
Who
try and
knows?
mention it. He's gonna outlive us all.
That's true. How old is he now? Like 300?
Alright, I guess I'd say 3,000. But who's counting?
Who's counting? I know he's sure. I know he's definitely not. Old man probably doesn't even know how old he is.
I can't even keep up with the wars he's talking about. One battle, another battle. I'm pretty sure he was at the start of creation.
I'd be willing to bet. I bet the old man could take the Tarask on by himself if he needed to.
If there's anybody that I'd expect to do it, I'm sure it'd be him. Well, Genzo, I gotta get back to it, but from here on out, me and you are wink enemies. I'll be speaking for you, but at the same time, you're supposed to have some animosity towards all of us in the Dark Sun, so...
Yeah, of course. I might have to graze you with a bullet a time or two.
Well, also keep in mind, once you put those items on when you're out and about, I got no way of reaching you. So unless you have a good way to be able to try and contact me, we're gonna be having a hard time getting in touch with each other.
That's true, though I think, actually with the Ring of Mind Shielding, you can still allow it if you choose to.
Yeah, but I don't have anything to be able to speak to him.
True.
Actually, hold on. I might be able to send him letters with my new
Courier.
spell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's it at? Oh, speed of courier. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can just send him letters. Okay. Actually, I might have something that works. I might be able to send you information from time to time.
Will I be able to send anything back?
No, but I'm working on something to try and make it so. It's basically I send you things, and if you don't take everything, I get to have an idea. If you don't take everything, I can surmise your response from what's left in the box. Let me put that.
Makes sense. So, if I were to encounter this Volteer in my travels, should I take him on?
I'm sure you could handle him just fine. However, after the things he's already done, I've got somebody in my group that has a personal grudge against him that I'd like to see that go through. So if it's all the same, if I could ask a favor, just keep an eye on him, track him down, find whatever weaknesses you can, and get back to us. That tiefling that rolls with us, Ophelia, she's got it bad that she wants to put him in the ground.
Yeah, I heard about your friend, and for what it's worth, I know he's back, but I'm sorry you guys had to go through that. It must have been tough.
It was a scare, but we got through it. But that left an impression, especially with her. So, Volteer, he's got to go, and I think it's best if it's going to be her that does it. I think she needs that.
My only question is, I know of this Wilhelm. A lot of people do. He's slightly famous. Why would he go after someone so high profile?
Because he was going after us. He wanted to send a message. Wilhelm and Ophelia are close. It's almost like a mock father-daughter relationship.
I see. Well, when all this bullshit is completed, I'll keep an ear to the ground for you guys. I'll try to find some way where if I get any information to get it to you. I might have to go give old Rill a visit. Maybe he can get the information to you instead of me.
I got Real hanging out in Permiralty. He's on a job for Raynor, who is also working with me, but Permiralty, he's out there with his brother.
I might have to pay him a visit.
Alright. I'll have to make it back out there one of these days, so who knows? Maybe we'll also bump into each other, but until then, make sure you're taking care of yourself, Genzo. I'm gonna be hella pissed if you end up. Yeah, there you go. You end up ending your legend shorter than you need to. And I'll reach out to shake his hand.
He grips your hand, and you know nobody can kill me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll be careful. Don't worry.
And on that note, I'll take my leave. Oh, easy, buddy. Oh my goodness. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Azrael walks up to him and grips his hand in both hands and says, "It has been most pleasant to finally make your acquaintance. It is great to put a name, or put a face to the name. I have heard much about you." And just looks up at him and says, yeah. Alright, yeah, you too. Bye. As Azrael says, "Well, I will bid you adieu," and turns on a dime and walks towards the bars, which then the Dark Sons, who are waiting off in the distance, notice, come over, unlock the gate, and motion for the two of you to walk out.
Yeah, we'll just go ahead and head on out. And now that Fantasy Ground's up, do you want to retroactively do the bar?
Yes, we will do that now. So, I need to look up some poisons. Or you know what? I'll just open your inventory. Do you have your poisons, like, sorted or anything?
Not the unidentified ones.
Okay. Except Fantasy Grounds is freezing up for me again. It's anytime I try to open a character sheet that it does this. There we go. All right. Open up your inventory. So the drow poison is one of them. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff is already identified. Oh, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing outside about? Oh, yeah. You're fine. You hungry? You want to pour the bottle? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go. All right. But yeah, it's
So
mostly
I'm
the
not
stuff that I
actually
was already
seeing. I'm not actually seeing any of these
Well, a lot of the
unidentified poisons.
they're not unidentified poisons. It's the stuff that I wrote in manually. Like, you'll see, like, vial of Nickelodeon goop, Lola's poison sack.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, you actually already have the vial of ice spider queen venom. Oh, I think those are two different things, though.
They are.
So, for poisons that come from creatures, I just look up the creature and they just do whatever that creature's poison does. So,
So, to be honest, man, just do me a favor, just write it to me in Discord, and I'll put it all in there later.
it will do. He'll still just, tell you what
Yeah,
it does,
no, I
though.
got you. But let's talk. Let's talk money. I want that bag of coal and whatever he's got in there.
So, I'll let you make an offer. How much do you want to give me for it?
I mean, I don't even know what's in the thing.
So I have 2 poison grenades, 2 Medusa's Follies. I also have 5 drow poisons and 10 false healing potions. As well as I've got a interesting little poison here. As he pulls out a sack, and when he opens it up, it smells like Sood, looks like Sood. He says, "You might think this is Sood, but it's not. But it's enough like it that many people would assume that you're just on a bad trip. I made this myself. Anybody who consumes this stuff will enter a state of delirium. They'll suddenly find that they believe that everybody other than themselves is some sort of enemy. They'll find everybody to be a mortal threat and begin to start trying to kill everyone.
Let me ask you this. I'm familiar with Sood, but how easy is it to put that into something like a dart? Something to hit somebody from a distance?
It could be done with some purified water. The purest, as you don't want any extra ingredients in there.
Sure, but
You could dissolve it down, fit it into a dart, and yeah, I think that'd be possible. It wouldn't be able, depending on the size of the dart, you might not be able to put in a full dose, but it'd probably at least do something.
well, let me ask you, does something like that lower the concentration of it? Basically, I'm also asking if it's going to lower the DC.
Maybe a little bit. But if you can get somebody who would likely partake of some Sood to take a full dose willingly, it might take a little while before they start feeling the full effects, but by that point, they'll have already ingested a ton of the stuff, to the point that they will absolutely lose their mind.
So, roughly to the DM here, how much do I think that all this stuff is worth?
Probably about an ounce of it would do the trick.
No, I mean, like, the bag, the grenades, like, when you say make an offer, like, roughly how much do you I would think that this is all worth, if I'm familiar with it at all?
Make an insight check.
Insight. Where's my insight? There it is.
So, with the bag of holding, with the 2 poison grenades, the 10 false potions, total bulk worth would probably, if you were to buy each of those things individually,
and the bag of holding,
and the bag of holding as well, would probably be about 800 gold. But that's for if you were to buy each of those things individually, and you're offering to buy everything in bulk.
Oh my god. Ah, no.
Aw, he's upset.
Yeah. I think he wants to go back to bed. There we go. 800 gold for the whole thing?
Yes.
Oh my god, that is so cheap comparatively to the things we've been buying. I thought you were
Bag
going
of
to be
holding's only 400 gold.
oh my god, that is so cheap. I'm used to like, oh, you want to buy this thing? It's 10,000.
Yeah, bag of holding's only 400 gold, so half the cost is just for the bag of holding.
Alright. I'll tell you what. Here's what I'm gonna do. I want you to be my poison guy. I want you to whip up some of the most virulent, toxic, terrible things and keep them on the side for me for the next time we want to do business. And for
I can do that.
everything you got, I'm gonna go ahead and give you a nice little hefty tip because I like what you're showing here. So I'm gonna tell you what, I'm gonna give you 1,000 gold for everything you got and for future services. And I want
1,000 gold.
I want to get my money's worth. And you know what? That bottle of whiskey, that's on me. However much that is.
Yeah,
That was
another
like 2 gold. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, 2 gold. With each gold, I mean, the way I calculate prices on the fly is every gold is approximately $10. So, $20 bottle of whiskey. It's cheap whiskey.
But yeah, I want something that can put down the biggest monster you've ever seen. So,
Interesting.
I want you to get experimental. I want you to get crazy. I want you to push boundaries and make the most deadliest things you can ever hope to attach to a weapon. 200 gold.
How big are we talking?
I'm just gonna kind of stick my thumb out, point to the window. Well, that giant boy right there is my pet. so you can imagine what I would expect to be an enemy.
I think I know. I think I have something in mind. Yeah, I definitely got something in mind. Tell you what, I'll give you everything for that 1,000 gold, other than an ounce of the fool's sood. I got an idea for that.
You got yourself a deal. And I am going to subtract 1,002 gold. For 112.
And I am going to use this to make something that will make the largest creature that you could possibly imagine eat itself. How does that sound?
Well, now that just sounds like good, wholesome family entertainment.
Couldn't agree more.
What are you doing, buddy? Oh, you're so mad. Here, you want that? Yeah, there you go. You can't decide what you want. He's hungry again. Alright. Sorry, man.
You're good. Not a problem.
Alright. But yeah, I will, so bag of coal, if you can drop that in my inventory, if you need me to type it up, whatever. Again, if you want to just put it in Discord, I can add it later. But
Yeah, so...
The other thing I want to talk to him about, is I wanted to see if he can give me a rundown of attaching poisons to weapons, especially arrowheads.
Are you talking about, like, coating a weapon in poison, or you want to actually attach, like, a vial of poison to a weapon?
Let me ask you this. Oh, what? Oh, man. I've seen them attached to arrowheads and things like that, and to be honest, I'm interested in it. But I also had a thought of, what if you could have a hollow-tipped arrowhead that had just a nasty toxin inside? That way you could have a larger quantity of it than just what was coated on the outside of an arrow. Could that be done?
It could. But I couldn't do that. I'm a poisoner. I'm not an engineer.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. There. Is that what you want? You want, Passy? I just need to know if it could be done, and I'm not saying it's in your wheelhouse of expertise, but how would one go about that, just as far as dealing with the poisons? Is it just something as simple as just pumping it in there? Or I know with the regular poison on the outside, you have to coat it and let it set. Like, how would you prepare that?
I would think, granted this is all conjecture, I would think if you were to make arrowheads out of glass or some sort of fragile crystal, they could be made in a way that whenever they pierce a target, the arrowhead itself shatters inside of the target, thus releasing the poison.
But who makes something like a glass arrowhead? Did you say
I
something?
know...
Okay.
Oh, sorry, what were you going to say?
No, it sounded like you cut out for a second, so I was asking if you said anything. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I would imagine that any sort of tinkerer might be able to accomplish that. If you know a tinkerer, or if you're happen to be privy with a gnome. I know there's a shopkeeper at the Spire of the Gods who has made a few things like what you're describing in the past. He may be able to help you out as well. You've got a few options.
Well, despite the gods, who might you be talking about?
And what is that elf's name that runs the Timoran shop? His name would be... Where's my book?
You're not talking about the shopkeeper, are you?
I am.
Oh my god, Corin?
Quarian, that's what it is. Yeah, he goes by the name of Quarian.
Oh my goodness, what? What you want? You were just not gonna be happy no matter what. You've been fed, you've been changed, you've been burped.
Did you really, like, change a diaper during the time that we've been talking?
Oh yeah, man. Dude, you
Nice.
when you're a parent, like you learn you gotta change a diaper on the fly when it happens, man. Like you either start enjoying the smell and having your kid just sit in it so he's working on getting a diaper rash, or you get on it. So yeah, no, I've changed him, fed him, everything while we've been sitting here doing the thing. Usually when he gets fed, he goes like right out. But I also usually like sing to him and like rock him and put him to sleep. So he's like, "No, Dad, quit playing D&D. Where's my songs?" He's like me. He needs jams. He needs his jams.
Yeah, exactly. Takes after his dad.
All right. Okay. So, old boy that I am going to destroy one of these days is also the one I need to go for my glass arrowheads.
One of them. One of your many options. He also said a tinkerer could probably do it. So hell, Wilhelm maybe.
Well, that's true. That's true. All right. Excuse me. All right, I have subtracted my 1,000 gold. Done that. To be honest, I think we're kind of good here. I was gonna go ahead and do the conversation with Relicanter, but Locke is not having it. So I think we can just save that one for the next session. That way, at least the group can be involved. They can hear one of my conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about that? So much to say. Eat. You want to eat? No. But alright, man. I think we're... Oh, you're writing it all out there? And I will say, for the sake of saying, all of my vials of blood, because I actually have a fair amount. You know what? There is one thing I want to do at some point during the day. We can knock that part out at least.
All right. What's that?
In fact, we'll say after this is all concluded, I'm going to go back to my remnants of a tent, I guess. Or basically somewhere.
All right.
And I want to investigate and take a look at the 2 vials of bloody mud that I got off the ground by where Wilhelm's ship got attacked.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna sit for a minute, and I'm just gonna cast Scry and see if I can figure out whose blood it is.
So, cast Scry on one of the vials, and it immediately centers on a wounded Wilhelm over in the med tent.
Okay, I mean,
So,
I gathered up like 2 vials, but it was like the same blood, if I remember right.
yeah,
Okay.
it was Wilhelm's blood.
Okay. I figured it was either going to be Wilhelm or Voltaire, but I just was curious since I hadn't really, checked it out yet.
Yeah. No, it was just evidence of the fight that had happened.
That's fine. I'm put that in my bag of holding. And to be honest, I'm going to put my entire Scry Mats bag in my bag of holding as well, because I've got like a bunch of random stuff in there. So.
Okay.
And I'll
The
put a little note
bag
on
of holding can carry 100 pounds. So 100 pounds worth of stuff.
Yeah, it's mostly
and I
like
imagine you're not even close to that.
Yeah, no, it's all my poisons, the vials of blood that I've gathered, all that stuff. That's gonna go in the bag of holding now.
Okay.
So, yeah. There you go. Look at that. You killed that bottle now. Like a champ. Rah. No wonder you're getting so fat. Oh, yeah. Feed me more. I must consume, father. So, alright, man. Ugh. On that note, I think it'd be a good time to wrap it up, so I'm not sitting here trying to pacify the kiddo while we're trying to do this.
Alright. That's fine.
But yeah, the 2 vials of Medusa's Folly, that paralyzes somebody?
Yeah, paralysis.
What's the DC on all that stuff?
So, The only homebrew items from this are the Medusa's Folly and the Fool's Sood. The other things are stock item. The Fool's Sood would be a Constitution saving throw of 17. And the Medusa's Folly, actually, they would both have the same DC, Constitution saving throws.
What if it's not necessarily coated on an arrow, but it's like a whole thing of it in a tip of an arrow?
Probably make it a DC of 19 instead.
Okay. I don't know if it's even worth changing, but yeah, alright.
I'm just putting, because typically the DC of an item of like a poison is, it's assumed that you used the entire vial to coat it. But since it would be more of a direct route and you could argue that there would be less of it wasted, then yeah, I'd say it would be a little bit higher.
Just out of curiosity, what does it take to be able to, like, is it like Tony's game? Like, if I wanted to coat something in poison, how long would it take and all that? Like, that's also part of the conversation I was trying to have with him.
I would
wanna
say an
get
hour.
Introduced to the whole process of poisoning arrows.
I would say if you were to let it sit and coat for an hour, that would probably do it.
Okay. Yeah.
If you were to just, like, on the fly, just dip it in the poison real quick, it
Nah.
would still work. Just the poison's not gonna last very long on that weapon.
If we ever have this infamous downtime that you keep alluding to, I'm going to take some time and actually prep all these arrows and put poison and all that other stuff. Did the 10 vials of potions of poison actually do damage, or did they just make somebody poison?
Yeah, they do damage, and it also makes you suffer from the poison condition if you fail a saving throw.
Nice.
But the idea is for deception. You know, you think you're drinking a healing potion, and instead you end up wounded by it.
Yeah. Oh, those potions of poison. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking especially for those stuff to like put on weaponry and whatnot. Okay.
So, because I that couldn't have gone closer to how I wanted it to. Whenever Aaron decided he was gonna feed one of the mysterious potions to Dorian when he was already down,
Yeah.
and then he failed.
I kind of figured that's what was going to end up happening. I think a lot of us did, but it was already happening. So, which is good because I actually have a few potions of that on my persons, and so now I'm assuming since he knows what they are, I have 2, 3, 4 of them on me.
Yeah, just I would hope that you marked them in some way, because
did.
literally it is impossible to tell the difference
I literally wrote
unless you
down
use
potion
detect magic.
unknown for whenever I gathered them, and I knew I knew something's wrong with them. I just didn't know what exactly was the deal with them. Because I didn't
Yeah.
have the description of them yet. But yeah, I already had 4 of them from our time in the place. Oh yeah. I got all this nasty stuff I can start putting on things now.
And if you really hate somebody, you can be like, "Oh man, you look like you're hurt. Here's a healing potion."
Man, I got that. I got fake sued. I hadn't done that yet. I'm gonna get a bracelet that I want to be able to like drop poison off into people's drinks and whatnot. Especially because any poison I put in somebody's drink, I can just cover up the taste and smell with prestidigitation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got all sorts of ways of murdering people's. Alright. And on that note, unless you got anything else to add, I'm gonna go and kill the stream, man.
No, just that I would imagine after this point, I'm hoping next session you guys will make it to Geardale. That whatever it is you guys are going to take care of in Spire of the Gods will be pretty quick. Then we can just fast forward.
Well, we don't know if we're necessarily going to Geardale or if we're gonna go to King's Crest afterward, but I think we're going to Geardale,
Yeah.
but we'll see. Alright, I'm killing it.